They take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 11:40 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Let's go. It's your boy Drapes holding it down. Jay, you know when I sit in this chair, we got to have a takeover plan, the music plan. I know we didn't talk about it, but anytime I sit in this chair and Whitey is gone, you got to have me set up with the takeover because it's 4 hours of Drapes and Jay here on Sactown Sports 1140. So much to get to. Coming up at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock, we got Brett Siegel of Clutch Points joining us. He's an NBA insider. We're going to talk about, obviously, all the rumors going on regarding the Sacramento Kings. So many free agents out there, so many trade targets. We got that coming up at 3 o'clock. A little later in the day, we're going to do something special that me and Jay came up with. Thank you, big fella. I can't start the show until I hear my boy Jay-Z in the takeover. All right. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. Now I'm ready to go. Hit us up, 916-339-1140. Jay, how you feeling today, man? Good weekend? Everything good?
Yeah, beautiful weekend, man. I had the family reunion this past weekend. Got to, you know how that goes. You meet a couple people that you haven't met. You talk to a couple people you ain't seen since elementary school. You know, it was a beautiful situation. Just loved the family. And Saturday, we had a great turnout on Saturday, like close to 200 people. And so,
damn,
you know, super hyped for that. And got the wifey family reunion coming up this week. So, you know, we back to back on it, brother. I'm Drake, which we'll talk about.
Okay,
later.
Yeah. We got a Drape's take coming up in just a little bit. I'll tell you exactly why I think Drake is the LeBron James of the rap game. We got that coming up. So you had the family reunion. I haven't been to a family reunion in a minute. Because I'm out here on the West Coast. My whole family's out in Philly and everything like that. And they always have it the first week of school out here. Like that August. Yeah, it's always then. Yep. And so the kids are in school. And so I never get a chance to go back, man. I miss that, though.
Yeah, it's this is the first one I've been to in, moons, many moons. I'm with you. They normally have it on a time that doesn't really work for what we do.
Right.
And the last one I believe was like 2-3 years ago in Oklahoma, which is where my maternal side is from. And so, that didn't work. Didn't get to that one. Then there was another one. I was in Louisiana, maybe about 5 years ago. I couldn't get to that one. So they had this one here in Sacramento for, and we had people coming from down south coming up this way. Just a great turnout, man. Right. Yeah, again, seeing people that you haven't seen in so long.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. And, Drapes, we're not bashful. We're not shy. And so, Friday was like a meet and greet situation or whatever. And people had name tags. And then, from what of the patriarch or matriarch you derived from, and so it's from my grandfather. That was cool because you get to see who's who, and then you get to see what line of the lineage they're from. Saturday, no, it's just a barbecue picnic type situation. So I was walking around introducing myself to everybody. What's up, man? Who are you? What's going on? You fam?
Right.
You connected to the fam? You married to the fam? So a lot of people were they were excited that I was just walking around because, again, most of the time people don't do that. You kind of
stay in your own group and everything. Yeah. You're not sure who that cousin is or who that person is.
Right.
No, I'm with you on that. So it sounds like a good weekend. I'll tell you about my weekend real quick. I don't know, man. I'm out of my mind, man. Your boy's not made for the heat, Jay.
Okay.
I'm not made for the heat.
Okay.
I went golfing, bro. Anything over 90, I'm not good at.
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday was flaming.
It was like 105 out there. And I'm like, and I'm out in Grass Valley, kid. So I drove an hour to golf at Alta Sierra. And I'm like, I don't know if I should be doing this. You know what I mean?
What time was tee?
Noon.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
Dog, but
did you not check the weather?
I did. And so the guy I golf with, this dude named Steve, it's like 9 a.m. He's like, Kyle, just so you know, it's going to be 95 to 100 out here. You sure you want to do this? I'm like, bro, I'm a man, dog. I got my Mike Gundy on. I'm like tapping my chest. I got this. I got the hydration going. I'm flowing. Man, by hole 4 or 5, I was like, we were literally saying, man, maybe we should just do 9 today because it was that bad out there. But I did the full 18, man. Full 18 and got
in the middle of the top high noon heat.
In the middle of the top high noon heat. So that was my weekend right there. And hung out with the kids. My daughter is sick, so I've been spending a lot of time with her. Yeah,
cold summer.
Yeah,
like fabulous.
I don't know if
she
got the Montezuma's Revenge or something because we were in Cabo and got back Monday. But ever since we got back, she's been out of it. You know what I mean? She's been sick. So, but it was a good weekend. Otherwise, got to spend some time with her. I'm ready for this week. I say this, Jay. This is my proclamation. And this is for Sacramento Kings fans out there listening on the YouTube chat and on the text line, the app, driving home, whatever you're doing. This week has the potential to change the course of the Sacramento Kings future, Jay. And I'm not just talking the NBA draft, which is Wednesday and Thursday. I'm talking about the potential to make some moves if I'm Monty McNair, whether it's trading for Zach LaVine, whether it's trading for Kyle Kuzma. I know July 4th is still more than a week and a half away, Jay, but this week has the potential to be fireworks for Sacramento with the draft starting on Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think of all the things, and we're going to have some conversations about a few of these reports of many, at right now, if you are tied to the NBA, I was waiting on a Draper drop. Like a Woj bomb, or I said a Sean Cunningham sonic boom. I was waiting on a Draper drop, and so if you're tied to the NBA right now, you have some form of news. You have some type of scoop.
Right.
Something. A rumor. You talk to one of your boys. You talk to a player. You talk to an agent. You talk to a front office person. You talk to a ball boy. You've talked to a play-by-play guy. Something if you're in the NBA circle right now. And that's what it feels like. It feels like every other minute, you're the Michael Scottos, the Wojs, the Shams, the Brett Siegels, the Brian Windhorses, the Anthony Slaters, like all these guys, Sam Amick. You see Mark Stein, Rick Bucher, like everybody's dropping something about, player A is probably going to opt out. Player B, there's a sweepstakes for this guy. Team A is looking to trade for, player B. There's so many rumors and so many things swirling right now. I'm 100% with you. It doesn't feel like last year's offseason, Drake.
Right.
I'll say that.
It feels like for the Kings. It feels like the fan base knows it. It feels like Monty knows it. And we almost had something last week. I'm sure you read this Sam Amick and Anthony Slater article on The Athletic and NewYorkTimes.com. And their big bombshell, and there was a couple of them out there, their big bombshell was that the Kings were close to getting Alex Caruso from the Chicago Bulls. And they were dangling that number 13 overall pick in Wednesday's draft. That was going to be the key. And when I heard that this morning, when I read that article earlier today, I thought, oh, man, our boy Monty is out there hustling. He's trying to make it work. They came close to getting Alex Caruso, and they came up just short. I like the fact that Monty is being aggressive. I like the fact that he's trying to make some moves. It does concern me, however, though, Jay, and I think I was just talking to Nate about this or Alan Stiles. Our assets We got that Toyota Corolla LE package.
Yep.
And somebody can always outbid us if they want that person. So, for instance, Alex Caruso would love to have him. Dog, hustler, defender, but number 13 and whatever players you want to throw in. Clearly, Chicago felt Josh Giddey was better.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when we talk about Kuzma, talk about Jeremy Grant, whatever, if other teams are into it as well and they want those guys, they can outbid us.
Yeah, agreed. I think, with the Alex Caruso knowledge that we have, and I've seen a bunch of people. I know we're Giddey guys, right?
Yes.
And that sounds crazy, but we are in support of Josh Giddey. We believe that he has some other things, some other tools. He can be an all-star if he is in the right situation. And really, I'm not even going to say right situation. I just think he went to almost like the worst team he possibly could go to based on the fact that SGA's got the ball in his hand so much. And so to me, he's an all-star in waiting. Like, he's going to be borderline an all-star. I think if he can reach the 20-8, he'll be borderline all-star, and that's where I project him to be. The Caruso for Giddey makes sense to me because you're playing for the upkeep when it comes to the Bulls. You're looking at the uptick, the future, what the ceiling is.
Right.
When you start to look at the Kings and you throw that 13th pick out to Alex Caruso, it really becomes down to this, Drapes. Remove Kevin Huerter, remove HB, maybe Davion, maybe Chris Duarte. There might be another person or two that we haven't talked about that much who might be in these trade packages. But to me, the Bulls said Josh Giddey is better than anything we can get at the 13th pick.
Right.
And I think that's the way they looked at it, because the way it's being reported is they were close. So to me, it's probably mean the Thunder and the Kings might have been battling, and maybe another team in there, and they feel Giddey's just better than you can get anything you're going to get from the 13th pick.
And that's what scares me, though, because let's say you dangle the 13th pick to the Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. Who's to say that Lakers or whoever it may be, OKC, Utah got picks. Hey, we got the number 10 pick. Here you go. And so it's going to be interesting how Monty navigates this. I think we're in agreement, and I want to hear from Kings fans, 916-339-1140. Monty has to do something. Like, I know he's trying. You know how it is, Jay. You're a baseball guy. It's like, you get up to the plate and you're swinging.
Absolutely.
Eventually, you got to make contact.
You better believe it.
Maybe try to bunt on or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do something.
You got to get on any way possible.
That's any way possible.
Say, get hit by a pitch, take a walk, lay something down, which means a bunt. Whatever you have to do, we need you to get on.
Exactly. And that's what I think is going to happen this week with Monty McNair and the Sacramento Kings. Coming up in just a minute, we'll deep dive into this Athletic article, what it means for De'Aaron Fox. There was a small note in there, but it could give us an inclination on De'Aaron Fox's future here in Sacramento. You're listening to The Drive, guys. It's Drapes and Jay here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Get ready to fuel your spirit of adventure with Kia Vacaville Summer Sticker Sales Event. It's time to crank up the excitement. Calling all thrill seekers. Are you ready for an adrenaline-packed journey? Introducing the Kia Telluride, the ultimate companion for your next adventure. Picture this: blazing trails through uncharted territories, conquering the wild with the power and precision of the Kia Telluride. With Kia Vacaville, you can join the expedition and experience the thrill of off-road exploration like never before. With its rugged design and cutting-edge features, the Kia Telluride is your passport to unforgettable adventures. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Head to Kia Vacaville today and gear up for the adventure of a lifetime during their summer sticker sales event. Your adventure starts now. Kia Vacaville, where every journey is an adventure. Visit Kia Vacaville today. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Drapes Drapes and Jay here on Sactown Sports 1140. You're listening to The Drive Guys. Our boy Kevin Gleason Whitey out today, but he is going to be back in tomorrow. We are discussing this piece in The Athletic, why the Sacramento Kings are shopping their number 13 pick as part of aggressive offseason. It's by our guys Anthony Slater and Sam Amick. Did a great job on those stories. As I'm read this article, Jay, and I'm pulling it up right here in front of me, one thing that stood out to me, we understand the Kings trying to move off on the 13th pick. We thought about that. We talked about that before. But it had a note about De'Aaron Fox. Now, Fox is eligible to sign an extension right now. But according to this article, Fox is going to hold off on signing this extension for a couple of reasons. One, if he makes All-NBA, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star, he can sign the Supermax next year. So financially, it makes sense for him to not do it this year. I get that. But a little nugget they dropped in there that had me thinking, maybe Foxy is trying to show some leverage here, show some of his star power. It said, in a small reason why Fox is waiting, he wants to see the makeup of the roster going forward. Now, we know star players, whether it's LeBron, Durant, we've seen it all at Luka. We've seen it all around the league where they have sort of an input on players. We never thought De'Aaron Fox could be that kind of guy, but it now shows me, and let's not forget, Jay, who his agent is also, Clutch Sports. He's rocking with Clutch Sports now. Player empowerment, that's what they are really about. To me, the nugget that Fox wants to see how the roster shakes out or anything like that, that raised a red flag to me just a little bit. To me, that puts the onus on Monty McNair because I think De'Aaron Fox, and especially with the Clutch Sports behind him now, is realizing the power he has. Not saying he's going to leave or anything like that. Not saying he wants to leave because De'Aaron Fox has proven and shown he wants to be a Sacramento King for life. But you look at the money, you look at the power that he's wielding, I feel like you're seeing the evolution of De'Aaron Fox to a point where he can become the guy or one of the guys in the league. What's the deal that if he waits and he gets to sign a max contract, $359 million, is it for De'Aaron Fox over 5 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Who would have thought, right? De'Aaron Fox, $359 million?
Yeah.
Right?
The interesting thing that caught my eye in that article was he would become the highest paid player in the association, Drapes. Could you imagine a Sacramento King? Like we've had Chris Webber, you've had the Bibbies, but we've never been DeMarcus Cousins. We've never been close to $300 and almost $60 million and being the highest paid player. We're talking about the Steph Currys, LeBrons, all these guys, the Giannis's, the Embiid's, the Jokic's, all these guys that we could possibly name at this point. Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. De'Aaron Fox would be the highest paid player in the league. And you know what that tells me? We would, as much as two things for me. We have a superstar on our hands.
Yes.
As much as he may not want to, and I'm not saying De'Aaron does not want to personally. I don't know. As much as people may not see him, the NBA, some people do, some don't. I don't know, fans here see him as a superstar, some don't. He is a superstar by the way he's getting paid.
Right.
That's the first part.
Right.
The second part for me is this. Sacramento, for all the years we've been asking, Drapes, and I know you've only been here for a short period of time and got yourself entrenched. We've been asking for this.
Right.
We've been looking for a star of all stars. We've been looking for our guy to hang our name and attach ourselves to that guy and say, go represent us when it comes to the best of the best in the league.
Right.
Well, if he signs for almost $360 million, guess what? It's arrived. He's here, Drapes.
You're right.
No matter if you like it or not.
Yeah. And think about it. When Jaylen Brown signed his deal, became the highest paid player in the league, he was on, it was a topic on the talk shows. But it also, I think this is where it can help De'Aaron Fox, and you tell me, when you get a contract like that, and you're a young player, a face of a franchise, in my opinion, it should make you hungry to live up to that contract, to prove that, you know what, I'm being paid like that guy. I have to go out there and be that guy. And so when I look at De'Aaron Fox, and you and I talked about this, on the drive in, I think we'll see the most motivated De'Aaron Fox, $359 million. You heard me, right? 305. Dude, I would be in the gym 24/7. If I knew at the end of the rainbow, a pot of gold worth $359 million, Jay.
Man.
And so I think this is a great thing for De'Aaron Fox. Everybody's like, man, he's opting. He's not going to sign the extension. First of all, if I'm the Kings, from a financial standpoint, sure, you'd like him to sign the extension because it saves you money. But from a basketball standpoint, I think we'll see the hungriest version of De'Aaron Fox we have seen since he's been here since 2017.
It's interesting. When you proposed that to me, I hadn't thought about that aspect of this contract. Absolutely. We're going to find out the best De'Aaron Fox that we're probably going to see at the highest level. I agree with you. If you're not playing 100% at top peak condition, at top peak prime, seriousness, you're not putting yourself out there on the line 100% for $360 million. And I know it's not all about the money, but it is, though.
It is.
A lot of people are like, well, it's not all about the money. Yeah, because you're not in position to collect $360 million almost. And so I'm with you. I think if there's any time a telltale sign, we will get the very best De'Aaron Fox. We will know what the maximum potential, the ceiling of what De'Aaron Fox is. And I'm excited to see that because I think one of two things. We'll find out that he's either a top 10 guy or he's not, and we're probably going to have to add, another top 25 guy. So it's gonna break some things down. Like we're figuring out this book as we move along. Right now, we're in about chapter 7 or 8, Drapes. And we're looking to get further in this book, but some of these characters are starting to flesh out. And if De'Aaron Fox is up for $360 million, and let me also say this, Drapes, I think we can all agree De'Aaron Fox shouldn't be signing this year at all with $360 million almost on the back end. It's gonna be a telltale sign next year on what he does, and he's always in good condition, but how he takes his game to the next level.
Right. I need to see October, November, and part of December De'Aaron Fox, where he was averaging 30 points per game, where he was dominant on both ends of the floor. And I think, when you look at that paycheck and that potential contract, sure, it should motivate you, but it also comes with pressure as well when you do get that contract. No more excuses, right? You're not a young Fox anymore. That's, you're expected to be the guy day in and day out. And to your point, Jay, who would have thought that a Sacramento King could be the highest paid player in the NBA? And here's the thing.
Not me.
But Jay, I've seen people on the YouTube chat, Sactown Sports 1140. I've seen them on the text line, 916-339-1140, talking about the Kings are cheap and things like that. If the Kings are cheap, they will be exposed when it comes time to pay De'Aaron Fox.
Absolutely.
Because if you pay that contract, we look at Sabonis, $217 million. You pay that, that's not cheap. That's not cheap.
$500 million to two players.
That's
what the mention of Keegan Murray's coming up.
He's coming up, which leads me to my next point, Jay. And this is a little bit off the rundown, big fella, but it just popped in my head, so I got to bring it to you. If De'Aaron Fox is about to get 350 plus, if Tomas is at 217, we'll talk about Scotty Barnes and what he's making, but Keegan's going to be in that 200 plus million.
Birds rights, yeah.
It doesn't make sense financially to get a Zach LaVine. Like Zach LaVine's a $40 plus million player. You're going to have De'Aaron Fox at 60 million, Domas at 40 something million, LaVine at 40 something million, Keegan at. And so for the last 6 months, I've been screaming, Zach LaVine, Jay. But I'm finally come around, big fella, that I can't see the Kings paying 4 guys 30 plus, 40 plus $million. It just doesn't make sense anymore.
But is that part of the NBA future we're approaching? And I know, I think I sent something from Bobby Marks, the new first apron versus the second apron, right? I think we're approaching that to the point, and you've made, great points on this show, Drapes. You have to pay money. You have to pay. You have to live in a luxury tax to win a championship nowadays, because you need 3 top flight guys one way or another. Look at the Celtics. They've been in the, and you were a part of the run, right? In the front part of it. As much as good as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were, they couldn't get it done. But soon as you bring that 3rd top flight guy, which to me is Drew Holiday, who's a champion, who's a two-way guy, who's going to put up 18, give up, dime 8, all NBA defensive guy. And now they go over the threshold pretty easy too. I mean, it wasn't like they had tough opposition. They ran through everybody in the East and smacked the Mavs. And so I think you need 3 top flight guys with the slew of $18 million guys, Derek White, Al Horford's, those type of contracts. And so it's becoming the norm for the NBA right now, Drapes. I get what you're saying. I'm not all out on Levine,
right?
But
I'm not in his pockets. I don't know, but
it's tough to pay 4 guys.
It's tough to pay 4 guys. But let me ask you this, and I'm gonna throw this out to the people listening right now. 916-339-1140.
Are you telling me we're gonna make a decision on Keegan?
No.
Okay,
I'm not No, we better not.
Okay, I'm just checking.
He should be that dude. No, my thing is, from a fan standpoint, I hear people say, well, I don't want Zach LaVine's contract. If Vivek is willing to pay, it shouldn't matter to us, though, right?
Agreed. It's not our money.
It's not our money. And so, contracts be damned, long as we build a winner. And I bring this up because that's how it was in Boston. When you talk to Wick Grossbeck, his whole thing was, I don't care what it costs. We need to win banner 18. As a fan, do we want our ownership to say, I don't care what it costs. We need to win a championship here to Sacramento?
Me, yes. Yes, because, again, it's not our money. Right. I'm a fan, Drapes.
Right.
One of the things that it behooves me all the time is why we have guys who are potential GM, as we talk about basement GMs and armchair GMs and, fantasy GMs, all these guys want to be Bobby Marks. They want to be Keith Smith. They want to be Eric Pincus, guys who get paid to be capologists.
Yeah.
You're not paid for that.
Right.
Now, listen, if that's your hobby, more power to you. Shots out. Everybody got to do something, right? Everybody puts the time in anything. But people who get into the point of, well, I wouldn't trade for this guy. I wouldn't do that. As much as I said, me personally, I wouldn't have paid Brandon Ayuk 25, 30 million at the time. But guess what? Pay him 30 because I want him to be on the team. It's not my money, right? And so that's the part of it. Now, we also have to be intelligent. We also have to, use common sense. We can't just go get a $60 million guy like we talked about. We can't go get Devin Booker. We can't create trades for Devin Booker. He's not to be had.
Right.
But there is when we're arguing a couple million and all, like, fans kill me with that. Man, spend every single dollar and penny, because guess what's going to happen, Drake? Yeah. And we might be a little blessed, but at the same time, there are fans who's going to have to go spend that money, $200 premium tickets, $150 just to sit up in the nosebleeds.
Right.
Absolutely spend that money. They not giving us no break when I go get them chicken strips.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I'm sliding through the I can't remember the store right now that's over in the 118, the 118, 119 is over on that side of the arena. You go get your bottle of wine and they can open it for you. They're not breaking up, nothing's being given to me. I'm not getting percentages off for that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I want some red vines, Drapes. I'm getting charged full price for that.
Full price, $8 red vines or whatever it is.
So who am I to be like, no, don't spend it?
Here's the thing, Jay, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm talking about here after the timeout. I got 2 reasons why, if I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, I don't care if Vivek spends all the money in the world as long as it brings a championship. And I'll give you 2 examples why spending money is the way to go and how you will reap the rewards, the benefits of it. You're listening to The Drive, guys. Hit us up, 916-339-1140 at Sactown Sports, 1140.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings
Out
game.
of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, the Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Slash presents Serpent Festival, a celebration of the blues. Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley, starring Slash, Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish,
Y'all guess it's like a death wish.
and Eric Gales.
It's gonna be a steep climb.
Don't miss an all-star night of blues, Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Serpent Festival.
18 number ones.
What was I thinking about?
Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now, Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee,
I love you just the way
Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you're in the market for a new car, shop Folsom Lake Kia. Low interest rates, low payments, and zero down deals with approval of credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Hey, basketball fans, the draft is coming up and you don't want to miss it. Join Sactown Sports 1140 for a draft watch party at Public House Downtown, corner of 16th and L Street on June 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. Draft day decisions and delicious eats with Sactown Sports. Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Nighttime is the right time to track your golf ball's flight time at the Hagen Oaks Top Tracer driving range. It's more relaxed at night with people enjoying the Top Tracer technology where you can play Pebble Beach at Hagen Oaks. You can compete against your friends in a variety of games or just practice with the Top Tracer television technology. There's food when you're hungry from the Hangout food truck or enjoy a craft beer on the brand new patio with relaxed seating. And don't forget the summer-long free concert schedule. It's the Hagen Oaks driving range nightly until midnight, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway.
Attention talcum powder users. Have you had ovarian or gynecological cancer? A proposed $8 billion plan will pay those who believe they got sick from using talc products like Johnson's baby powder and shower to shower. Johnson & Johnson maintains its products are safe. You have until July 26, 2024 to vote to accept or reject the plan. For more information, visit officialtalclaims.com or call 888-431-4056. Paid for by LLT Management, LLC.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Dead battery on America's birthday? America's #1 battery destination is here to help. AutoZone has free battery testing and charging at every store, and batteries starting at just $79.99. With our 4th of July sale, we have savings to help you red, white, and do any other jobs you've been putting off. It's everything you need to get back on the road at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Drapes and Jay hanging with you on this Monday here on the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports 1140. No Whitey, no Kevin Gleason today. He will be back in the big chair tomorrow, excuse me. Jay, right now, I've been sending you some texts. I don't know if you've been checking them out. J.J. Redick being introduced as a Lakers coach, and we're going to play some sound a little later, but I think it's off to a good start, my man. Some of these sound bites I'm hearing, JJ sound like he coming in there, ready to run things in L.A.
Yeah, the one that I saw and I heard actually was he said he was from the Doc Rivers tree.
Ooh.
Yeah, he is a disciple of Doc Rivers. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't him and Doc don't get along?
That's what I thought. They had some beef, right?
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. And I didn't hear a tone or, didn't decept the tone like he was, being sarcastic. It sounded like he was just saying like, look, yeah, I'm from the Doc Rivers tree. I'm a Doc Rivers disciple. This is kind of how I think as far as coaching. So I found that interesting as, just the fact that they don't really care for each other. And I think it's more JJ Redick than Doc.
Right.
Because Doc is kind of like, hey, man, you had your best years with me.
Yes, he said that. Yeah.
Like JJ's kind of on the defense with Doc. So I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to play some JJ Redick coming up in just a little bit. He's the new coach of the Lakers. But I want to go back to what we were talking about before the break and the financial aspects of whatever moves they make this offseason and the potential of a De'Aaron Fox $359 million contract. You got Sabonis at $217. Keegan Murray's going to be a $200 million guy as well. And does that preclude the Sacramento Kings from going out there and making a big splash for, my guy, Zach LaVine? And I kind of think we're out on that just because I don't know if you could pay 4 guys, but I will say this, Jay, when it comes to paying players and trying to win a championship, I would rather my owner be the New York Yankees than the Florida Marlins.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or the Pittsburgh Pirates or something like that.
Steinbrenner
right
over John Fisher.
Whatever it takes, go out there and spend. And let me ask you this. Ask Joe Lacob whether or not his investment in the Warriors, getting Kevin Durant and paying him $30+ million, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, if that investment didn't pay off for him, if Joe Lacob had to do it all, remember, they were in the luxury tax. They had like a $300 million tax bill. But I tell you what, he made that and more. Got the arena downtown San Francisco. The valuation of the franchise goes up. And so it's more than just, all right, I don't have the cash or I'm not willing to spend the cash. Really, when you invest, when you spend the money, it's an investment in your product. It's an investment in your organization. And if you win a championship, can you imagine the valuation of the Sacramento Kings? So I don't buy this notion that, oh, man, that's too much money to be paying. No, spend the money because it's going to come back to you, especially if you win a championship. Look at the Warriors, where they were pre-Steph Curry versus post-Steph Curry. I could argue, and I'd have to look up the numbers, they're probably a top 2 or 3 franchise in terms of valuation right now. They got the organization. Joe Lacob got the arena. They're in primetime San Francisco. You know how much that land cost. And so, sure, Joe Lacob spent $300 million in tax, but he got it back in the valuation of his franchise. Sure, Wick Grossbeck and the Celtics have been in the tax for a number of years, but he got it back. He got his championship and the valuation of the franchise. So I'm not of the belief when I hear fans say, well, that's too much money. That's, you know what? Like you said, Jay, to win a championship, you got to win money. To play with the big boys, you gotta spend money. And so I don't think Zach LaVine will come here, but the contract would not scare me. And I know it's not my money.
Yep.
So, of course, I'm going to say that.
It's easier to spend another person's money. I get
it. But it doesn't scare me as much as it does other people. Because if you're willing to spend that money on Fox, on Keegan, on Zach, now you're putting together a championship caliber team, and that money will come back to you. playoff money.
Easy.
How much money did we miss out on the playoffs this year? A lot of money.
Believe me.
Can you imagine 3 or 4 rounds in the playoffs, getting to the finals? That kind of money, ticket prices, the valuation of your franchise, all that goes up. So I'm not worried about the money situation when it comes to acquiring talent.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I go back. Vivek and his group bought the Kings for $535 million is what was told to the public.
Yeah.
Now, plus or minus 10, who knows? But according to reports, $535 million is what the Kings organization was purchased for. Last year in Forbes, and I just looked this up because I want to make sure the numbers were right. The Kings valuation was $3.3 billion, man. $3.3 million. Forbes did a valuation on all the teams last year, and the Sacramento Kings were at $3.3 billion. Now, other reports, Forbes list this year, maybe around 2 million, things like that. Depends on all the reports that you look at. But Forbes last year was at $3.3 billion. Now, if we look at that, and I just looking at 2014, 800 million, 2015, 925 million, 2016, 1.1 billion, 2017, 1.4. You see where I'm going with it, Drapes?
Yes.
There's plenty of money to be spent.
Right.
Plenty. What you're saying is 100% correct. If you're in this to win a championship, you're going to have to spend money. You're not going to win a championship with a 25th ranked salary
payroll.
It's not going to happen. Payroll. It's
Yes.
not going to happen, man.
I'm 100% with you. And here's the thing too, Jay, to your point. If I gave you this $5 bill and I told you in 2 years that $5 bill will be worth $30, you made 25. You got 25 extra bucks.
Sure.
Same thing with Vivek's situation now, and you just mentioned it. You pay 500. What? 535.
535.
535. Now all of a sudden you're worth $2 billion. Come on, man. Don't be penny pinching, right? Don't be penny pinching. I mean, we're not that kind of organization. I want to hear what the fans think out there, the listeners. 916-339-1140. I see some of you guys on the YouTube chat. Vincent says, I would rather make a move on Miles Bridges, as was rumored, instead of a guy like Zach LaVine. He says, the contract doesn't scare me. The fit does.
Well, me, my guy has been Miles Bridges. I think
guy.
he fits what the Kings absolutely need. He is the perfect 3 for the Kings. He's going to give you 20 points a game. He's going to give you 8 rebounds, probably throw 5 assists. He's going to play defense. He's a dog. He's in your face. You can't run over him, but we've had these discussions before on the show because of the Louis Vuitton baggage that he carries, the baggage that comes with him. I believe some people here in Sacramento may sway from him. Now, I'm not saying the Sacramento Kings organization. I'm just saying it's a big PR gamble.
Right.
When it comes to Miles Bridges. Player, absolutely love him. PR, I'm not sure if the Kings want to get into it. Me personally, I'm not sure the Kings PR can handle Miles Bridges at this point. That's just me. I'm speaking for myself. With that being said, I don't think we're arguing, and I know we're putting the face to the cash when it comes to Zach LaVine, Drapes, though. I don't think we're arguing the point right now. Zach LaVine, we're using him as an example because he's been a main target on our show. But you started with this. I don't think the Kings are going to pay $60 million for the likes of a Zach LaVine paying 4 guys $30+ million.
Right.
What we're saying is, do you believe or think the Kings can pay 4 guys, Miles Bridges, Mikal Bridges, whoever you want to name, can they pay 4 guys $30+ million, birds right guys, top flight stars? That's what we're asking. And if so, vice versa, we may need to do that to win a championship.
Right.
You might have to.
Right. Well, and we're up against it. But when you look at the current makeup of the roster, you already got 3 guys. Fox, he's going to get paid. Sabonis paid. and Keegan's going to get paid.
Yes.
So basically, that's your 3 core high payroll kind of guys.
Right.
Now, are those the guys that you surround with the $10 million contracts, $15 million contracts? Because we're talking about getting Kuzma, and I know his contract goes down. Jeremy Grant's at $30 million. Like, now you're talking, once again, 4 guys. And
a lot of paper.
We might have to take a step back, Jay, and refigure our targets out there. I know you don't want to hear
tough. Yeah, it's tough, man, because I'm shooting for the ceiling. I'm at the stars. As you talked about, 4th of July is right around the corner. It is our time here in California to get saucy with the fireworks. And so that's my point is, and I think that's what we're having a conversation about. It's going to take money to get a championship. Right. We get that. Can we, or are we willing as a team, as an organization, to lay out that type of cash? And for Drapes, personally speaking, I'm not sure. I think me and you are on the same boat of it's going to take that.
It might take that. And this goes back to a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago. Are we chasing the championship? Or are we chasing just making the playoffs? Are we happy about that? We'll talk about that coming up next. 916-339-1140. You're on with Drapes and Jay. It's the Drive Guys. Sactown Sports, 1140.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Any golfer would be thrilled to listen to Jack Nicklaus talk, and I had to tap the enthusiasm brakes a bit when I had a chance to interview him. But over the course of 40-plus years, Nicklaus wrote enduring words in Golf Digest magazine. Max Adler compiles some of the best. Nicklaus says, "When I putt, I hold my breath before initiating the stroke to keep my head and body still." About putting, he said, "I visualize the putter shaft as being extremely limber, almost as flexible as a length of rope, which means the only way I can get the club head to swing truly is to stroke putts very softly." He said, "The harder I want to hit a shot, the slower I try to begin the swing." About the game, he said, "The key to playing well is to understand who you are as a person and then manage that. I'm finding now more than ever that the game of a lifetime can give you the time of your life without ever striking a shot." Sounds pretty much like life itself. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See deal for details. N7124.
It's the ride everybody wants to be driving, and Elk Grove Kia has them in stock right now. I'm talking about the 2024 Kia Telluride. And my friends at Elk Grove Kia can get you behind the wheel of a 2024 Telluride SX for only $419 a month, plus taxes and fees. Whenever I see one of these driving down the road or next to me at a red light, I just stop and admire it because the Kia Telluride just looks iconic. And not only is the Kia Telluride beautiful, it's got room for the whole family. There's a seating capacity for up to 7 passengers. Plus, it's loaded with tech. So is the 2024 Kia Telluride the right ride for you and your family? Come on down to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Give it a test drive. And just a heads up, when you're here at Elk Grove Kia, you're going to be treated very well. You're not going to get this kind of car buying experience in Roseville, Vacaville, Sacramento, or Davis. That's why Elk Grove Kia has so many 5-star reviews. Again, check them out in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online, elkgrovekia.com. 24-month lease, $0 security deposit, 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year, $4,999 due at signing based on approval of credit. VIN number 501850, ends June 30th, 2024.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Drapes and Jay, Sactown Sports 1140. Jay, you could have kept that rolling. Oh, yeah. You know, I might have to do a D-list on the all-time greatest diss records, diss songs in hip-hop history. Your boy Kendrick Lamar wouldn't be in the top 5. I just know that. It wouldn't be in the top 5. This, though, some Eazy-E, real Compton City G's. I cleaned it up. That would probably be in there as well. Some BG Knockout and Dresta. Yeah, what you know about that?
Digging deep in the crates, DJ.
Hey, can I get some Tim Dog too?
Oh,
I might
okay,
throw some Tim Dog.
Okay.
Exactly. I might do that, but that's for another day. I see some people out there on the YouTube chat right now talking about the Drake, Kendrick Lamar situation going on and why I think Drake is the LeBron James of hip hop.
LBJ, the king.
The king of hip hop. Exactly. That's coming up in a little bit on Drape's Takes. I will address all those people on the YouTube chat. I see that's coming up in a minute. But back to our conversation, 916-339-1140. The Sacramento Kings, they got some financial decisions to make, and I think it'll tell us a lot this week, Jay. If you go out there and make a big trade for a Jeremy Grant, for a Zach LaVine, then we know money isn't an issue. But if the only move you're making is signing, let's say, a Najee Marshall with your mid-level, or you don't do
I like that move.
I like that move. Yeah, that's a good move. I think that's a guy that can be had. We'd have to clear a little cap space with the addition of Malik Monk, re-signing him. But that would be a huge move. And speaking of Najee Marshall, Josh Hart, the Knicks guard, quote tweeted a story about Najee, and all he said was, he's a dog. That's what we need. He's a dog, talking about Najee Marshall.
Josh is out there, and he's done a good job of this the last couple of years. Like, he's out there hustling.
He's hustling, right?
He doesn't mind going to recruit people. He doesn't mind going to social network and, dropping a line or two. I like how Josh Hart gets down when it comes to recruiting players. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out there. He's very active out there. And so I think this week we'll learn a lot about the Kings and which direction they're going and how much they're willing to spend. Obviously, you got the draft coming up on Wednesday. We'll preview that coming up in just a little bit. But I firmly expect fireworks to get done this week, Jay. I think, if you draft a player and you don't make a move draft night, next night on day 2 of the draft, first week before free agency, to me, that means the big fireworks just aren't going to happen. I expect fireworks to happen this week. As a fan, that's what I want to see. All right, you draft this number 13 overall pick, but it's really not for you. And this is something Sam Amick and our boy Anthony Slater wrote about today in The Athletic, why the Kings, armed with the number 13 pick, may be interested in shopping that and moving it, why Sacramento is shopping their 13th pick as part of an aggressive offseason. Before the break, Jay, I mentioned, are we just competing to make the playoffs, or are we competing to win the championship? And the way our financials is structured, you're going to have to pay De'Aaron Fox. Even if it's not $359, it's going to be $2 something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be
sure.
Upwards of $40+ million a year. You got Domas at $40+ million. You're going to have to pay Keegan $30 million a year. And so that's 3 players that you're tied up $110 million. Bam, right there off the jump. Now, if you're worried about money, you don't go out there and trade for a Zach LaVine. Maybe you don't even go out there and trade for a Jeremy Grant at $30 million. Now, Kyle Kuzma, on the other hand, he sort of still fits in at $20 million, and it declines over the next couple of years. So maybe that's the player you go out there and sign. But if I'm a Kings fan, just making the playoffs, I think we're past that point, right?
Yes.
Like we're past
absolutely.
That. We're just the first round. Like, I want to see us be talked about in June. I want to see an NBA Finals here. Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
Come on, man.
I tried to sit back, Drapes, and imagine it. Yeah, I can't. After seeing what we saw 2 years ago,
yes,
for the playoff run,
right,
and you were a part of it, you saw it, you got to take it in, breathe it. No, I couldn't. I mean, game 1, people were downtown in the morning. Like, no, I couldn't imagine a finals game.
Right.
This city would be It'd be upside down. You're talking about, and you see when teams win finals, and unfortunately people, of the community tear things up. And I'm not saying Sacramento's going to tear things up, but I'm going to say it's going to look like a mob. It's definitely going to look like that out here. Now, I hope, we ain't turning over police cars and dismantling, power lines.
Right,
and
we
all
ain't
the
going
type of
that
stuff. We ain't
crazy.
trying to do that, but it's going to have that look though. Like,
We gonna be out in them
me,
streets.
and I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be moving and grooving on the sidewalk with my folks. If the Kings make it to a finals, Drake,
come on, man.
Dude, you're already a star in the community. You're going to be a superstar. You're going to go from De'Aaron Fox pay.
I mean, come on, man. If the and come on, as the voice of the Kings,
yeah, not even close.
I tell you what, you ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. You think the ego's out of? Hey, you ain't gonna be. I'm telling you, you ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing in this city. Hey, I got something from the 530 on the text line here, Jay. How about this? Ownership needs to ask themselves, why should fans continue to be fans if you never want to truly compete for a championship? What's the point of watching if you aren't hoping to win? We stuck with the team through the bad decades in hopes we'd be where we are now. You can't let this opportunity fade when it doesn't come often. That's an insult to fans.
Agreed.
Bingo, right there.
Agreed.
This is as close as we've been, Jay, since the early 2000s. I feel like now's the time to capitalize. If you ain't going to spend money now, when you going to spend money?
When you do it?
When you going to spend money?
Is there something, and I think we're talking about the crux of, I guess I'm saying we're talking about the crux of the salary cap moving forward, and if the Kings are even willing to go out and, on the limb and spend money and hit the tax threshold.
And the second apron and all that.
But the other part for me in this conversation, Drapes, is this. If we don't, if the Kings organization proves that they don't, just as the 530, it's an insult to fans, but I'm also interested to see, because this has been a loyal fan base.
Yes.
Through thick and thin. Right. We hear people talk about how great this fan base is. My question is, do you think this fan base is fed up yet? And I ask that because you spin it into saying this, Drapes. Are we playing for playoffs and good looks and just to appease the fans? Or are we actually going forward? Are we going through it and taking the necessary steps to be a championship caliber team and organization? Because that matters. You have to, one thing I know, if your foundation ain't right, if you guys aren't operating as champions, operating on, all wheels turning, then you're not going to win on the court either. Like the players aren't going to win despite what goes on. It never happens.
Right.
Rarely do you see the Bad News Bears. Rarely do you see Major League, the movie. Like it takes everyone to be on the same accord to win a championship.
Right.
And that coming from the Celtics and how hard you talk about the owner and all the movement and, the quest for 18 banners. And so that's the other spin to me is if you're not willing to spend the money and the fans see it, are the fans going to stick by the Kings organization?
That's a $1 million question because, I've only been here 3+ years and I don't know if this week goes by, free agency goes by and we talked about it. Najee Marshall, I'm just using him as an example. Does that move the needle enough for you in the fan base if that's our only move? If we don't make a trade? Like, think about it, Jay. We done spent the last 3 months and we're going to spend the next 3 hours talking about potential trades. There's one guy who might be on the market. That's my favorite trade target out there. I'll tell you that coming up at 4:00. But we've been talking to the fan base. Every time you go out, that's all people talk about.
That's true.
Who we going to trade for?
Yes.
What moves we going to make?
Yes.
And if all you do, and this is no offense that it could be Najee Marshall, it could be Caleb Martin, it could be whoever. Does that signal to the fan base, all right, we're interested in being good, but not great? Or is it a slow process too? That's something to think about. I would love to know how the fan base would respond because I've been hyping up fireworks for the last 3 months. I've been talking fireworks. But what if we only have some sparklers out there? What if we only have some bottle rockets? Does that count? I want to hear from you, 916-339-1140. Coming up next, our guy Brett Siegel of Clutch Points. He's going to be joining us to talk the latest in free agency, the trade rumors as well. We'll take your calls in the next hour as well. You're listening to The Drive Guys. It's Drapes and Jay on Sactown Sports, 1140.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento. And I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 76 years. Look for Made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Stuck in a downtown meeting marathon? Need a post-work pick-me-up? Head over to Public House Downtown, the corner of 16th and L Streets. That's right, Public House Downtown, your one-stop shop for good times. With 60 beers on tap, come catch the game on 25 HD TVs. Public House Downtown serves up creative American food all day long. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, and even weekend brunch. Public House Downtown. Food, beer, sports. Want to see the menu or plan your visit? Check out their website at phdowntown.com. Find your crew and find your fun at Public House Downtown.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam team.
Can we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. Drive Guys, Drapes and Jay here on Sactown Sports 1140. Our guy, Kevin Gleason, Whitey, he'll be back tomorrow. Holding it down is me and Jay. My pleasure right now to welcome in Brett Siegel of Clutch Points. And first of all, Brett, thanks for coming on the show. What's that jersey behind you there, big fella? Where's that from? High school, intramural? What's that number 20 from behind you?
That is a Louisville Cardinals jersey, number 20, the year I graduated from Louisville. I was a student manager there for Chris Mack and his staff. So we were number one in the country then, and ultimately the tournament got canceled that year.
Yeah.
We weren't able to pursue our national championship aspirations, but I always have that hanging right next to me as a friendly reminder that we were going to the Final Four that year.
You were, man. Hey, man, I used to work in Louisville back in the day, WHAS television when Rick Pitino was the coach. I was a sports director out there. And so glad you are on the show. Always got love for Louisville. No, is that where you're from?
No, it's not. I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I'm from Philly, and, we look down on people from Jersey. I'm joking with you, Brad. Hey, man. Yeah. We're going. I might ask you a Sixers question here coming up in just a minute. But first, let's start with my Sacramento Kings. I maintain this is an important week for Sacramento, Brett. When you look at having the number 13 overall pick, do they keep it? Do they swing a trade? What's your vibe this week for Sacramento, and what moves they could make this week?
Well, it's not just a big week for the Sacramento Kings. It's a huge offseason. And the reason for that is because of all the money that they have out there already. They gave Sabonis that big extension. And obviously you wanted to get Fox and lock him up on a big extension. But that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case anymore, as De'Aaron Fox wants to see what this team is going to look like. The Athletic had a recent story come out today or yesterday on that, talking about the fallout of them being involved in the Alex Caruso talks, and ultimately the Bulls sending him to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Josh Giddey and no draft picks. Meanwhile, the Kings are actively looking to trade their 13th pick in this year's draft, and they were involved in talks that would have sent that pick to the Chicago Bulls. So now, after falling out on Caruso, what kind of options are available? Because the Kings don't have all that much room and that much ability to move contracts. You got guys like Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter, but they don't have much of a market out there of teams really being interested in those guys. If they are going to trade for them, it's going to be more of trading for those contracts. And you look at where they're at. Harrison Barnes, he's still got 2 more years left on his current deal. He's on the books for $18 million this upcoming season. And then Kevin Huerter, 2 more years on his deal, just slightly underneath Barnes. I believe it's around $17 million that he's on the books there. So what moves can the Kings make? I think it's going to be a decision that comes right up to draft night. And I think that it's not only because of who becomes available, but which players are going to be on the board. This year's draft in particular is so volatile in the definition of, you don't know who's going to be there past the 10th pick. You don't know who's going to be there past 11 and 12. It just really depends on what happens at the very top, starting with the Hawks at number 1.
Joined by Brett Siegel of Clutch Points NBA Insider and Reporter. Brett, I'm glad you brought up here HB and Kevin Huerter, because around here in Sacramento, they are the names that are always tossed out as trade bait. Just from your standpoint, your opinion, you're in the circles of the NBA. What have you heard their value being? Because we have a joke here on this team that they're like the Toyota Corolla. They're a Toyota, but they're the base Toyota Corolla. We know they're going to run for forever, but they don't have any pizzazz. What are you hearing from inside the circles, the NBA circles?
Well, the biggest thing with the Kings is that if you're going to move on from one of them, and presumably you're going to do so to upgrade your roster, if you're the Kings, you're probably going to have to attach that 13th overall pick to it. You may even have to attach some future compensation to it if you are going to go out and get one of these big names on the market. But again, it just really depends on who's going to be available. We've heard the talk of Zach LaVine possibly being a target for the Sacramento Kings. That hasn't gone away. I've been told that that's still a viable scenario if the Kings want to pursue it. Obviously, the Bulls are willing to move on from LaVine, but now that Caruso can no longer be included in the deal, I'm not sure that would be as much of an appealing situation for Sacramento at this juncture. Obviously, though, you can still package Barnes and Huerter together. You can get to a $30 million threshold right there, attach the 13th pick to, and all of a sudden you have a very lucrative package for a guy that's making anywhere in that $28 to $32-33 million range. As far as their value, it's hard to project simply because I don't see any one of those guys, Huerter or Barnes, being traded straight up for another player. I think this is a situation where it would be a package deal, package with a draft pick, maybe even that 13th overall pick like we discussed, and then go from there of seeing who's going to be available on the open market. I would expect the Kings to be in negotiations and be in talks on the phone, a draft pick on draft night. And I'm going to throw another name at you. I think that Jeremy Grant with the Portland Trailblazers is another name that the Kings should pursue. I think that he would be an excellent fit for Mike Brown's system. And I think that he's widely available, a lot more available than people tend to believe at this point.
What do you think it would take to get a guy like that?
I think it's going to take multiple draft picks. I don't think that Portland is going to make a trade just for the sake of making a trade. And obviously they do have the 7th and 14th pick in this year's draft. So what would really the 13th pick do for them unless they're planning on moving up even further in this draft to maybe go after a guy like Donovan Clingan at the top at the top of the draft board, and the Hawks have interest in Klingon. There's been talk of the Spurs possibly interested in him at 4, and even the Grizzlies are a team that's looking to trade up along with the Blazers. So I think that if Portland has ideas of moving up, they would be interested in that 13th overall pick, but it would most likely take more from the Kings. It would most likely take a future first-round pick, maybe even some second-round picks. So is Jeremy Grant worth that price? That's something that the Kings would have to discuss internally.
Brett, it's interesting you throw out Jeremy Grant and Zach LaVine. And to me, when you throw out names like that, no disrespect to, because we love Zach LaVine here on the show and the Drive Guys. We've been politicking for Zach for a long time. But these guys aren't top flight. You know, they're not Mikal Bridges. They aren't can't miss guys. They have something going on. Zach LaVine, to a lot of people, has some type of injury, you know, being injury prone, missing 10, 15, 20 games a season. Of course, he's coming off a major injury. Are there any opportunity for the Kings, if we look at their 3 or 4 draft picks, you know, down to 4 future draft picks, or this 13, to where maybe they might be able to bump up and maybe go grab somebody like a Mikal Bridges, or, you know, a Brandon Ingram, someone who may be in a higher tier than a Zach LaVine or Jeremy Grant?
I certainly think that Brandon Ingram would be a viable candidate there. I think that he's available for the right price, and there really hasn't been a market for Brandon Ingram to this point. There haven't been teams lining up and knocking on the Pelicans' door to try to get Brandon Ingram and offering up multiple first-round picks, because they know that Ingram wants to test free agency next year. He's in the final year of his contract. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent in 2025, and early indications right now point in the direction of him not wanting to sign an extension during the 24-25 season. So you'd essentially be paying all of this assets, giving up all these assets for a guy in the final year of his contract. Yeah, Brandon Ingram's a great scorer, but do you really want to run the risk of giving up all of that only for him to leave in free agency next year? And I think that's where the concern lies with Brandon Ingram right now. And you look at other guys around the league, Mikal Bridges, I've heard, is just completely off limits. I don't see any scenario in which the Nets give him up this offseason unless they're completely blown away with Rudy Gobert ×2 size package there. So I just don't see that being a scenario that any team would really pursue. And then you look at Ingram, that's really the name that people are focused on, of what are the Pelicans going to do here? There's talk that they could move up in the draft. There's talk that they could potentially move out of their pick in the 20s and gather second-round assets. What are they really planning there? Because you have Zion Williamson, you still have CJ McCollum, and obviously Trey Murphy's a guy that they believe can be an all-star quality talent, which is why they have interest in moving on from Brandon Ingram this offseason and cutting costs while they can. So that's really where I'm looking at heading into the draft is Brandon Ingram going to be on the move over the next few days? And talking with people in league circles, I think that there is a possibility that he could be moved. And I'm looking at a team either like the Atlanta Hawks or a team like the Utah Jazz, who are in the market for a big name star this offseason.
Brett Siegel of Clutch Points joining us here on the Drive, guys. Brett, you know, you bring up, talk about Ingram. And I'm looking at the Kings, their salary structure, and this is something you touched on a bit ago. De'Aaron Fox is going to get an extension at some point, probably not this offseason, but next offseason. That's going to pay him more than $40-50 million a year. So bonus is at $217 million. You're going to have to re-sign Keegan Murray. Do you think the Kings, because of those future contracts, are sort of hamstrung on what they can do from a financial aspect, taking in a guy like a Jeremy Grant who's going to be paid $33, $34, $35 million in the coming years? Should we be looking more at the $20 million kind of player?
Yes and no. I think that there's advantages and disadvantages to both scenarios. And obviously targeting a guy like Jeremy Grant would be huge for the Sacramento Kings. He'd be that secondary scorer that you need next to De'Aaron Fox. You can put him on the wing. He can defend virtually any position out there. And he would fit Mike Brown's system really well. He'd pretty much take Harrison Barnes' spot while being more of a productive scorer than Kevin Huerter. And I think that's a 2-for-1 right there if you were to get a guy like Jeremy Grant. But I think that for the Kings, of looking at your financial situation, I don't necessarily know if they're looking 3, 4, 5 years from now and worrying about that. I think this is a situation where Monty McNair and the front office really want to prove that this past year was a fluke, that they didn't make the playoffs. This team is primed to make the playoffs, and they're going to be doing everything they can to make the playoffs. So I think that we're going to see moves made by the Kings this offseason, whether it's 1 or 2 trades made to bring in established talents that can complement guys like Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. They want to win. And they have a sense of urgency in Sacramento. I'm sure you guys can feel that being around the organization. And that's going to be the point of emphasis for them leading up to this draft, which is why that 13th pick is in play. Obviously, there's just so many unknowns this offseason because there's teams wanting to cut costs, there's teams wanting to stay under the second apron, and that could lead to certain stars being on the move, one of which that I'll throw out there right now is Paul George. I'm not saying that the Kings are going to want to pursue Paul George.
Speaking into existence, Brett, go ahead.
If the Kings want Paul George, they can go get him. And Paul George's situation right now is not looking very good for the Clippers. It looks like that if he does opt in, they're going to be seeking trade opportunities there to get him off the books because they don't want to give him Kawhi Leonard like money. And if the Kings want to, and they see Paul George being a fit, they can go out and get him.
Man, Brad, you're speaking some good news out there from Kings fans. What was your take of course, not being here on the West Coast and being on the East Coast? What was your take of the Malik Monk contract signing and him returning to Sacramento?
It was surprising, but at the same time, it wasn't. And I say that because Malik Monk has always wanted to stay in Sacramento. He's ushered those words ever since they lost in the play-in tournament. He said in his post-game press conference that he wanted to stay in Sacramento. The city loves him. He loves the city. So seeing him take less money to stay with the Kings is not surprising. But what was surprising was the figure on that contract, because that's going to set the stage for some of these other guys in free agency. Maybe there's guys that now get more money than was projected because of the amount that Malik Monk got. And I think that it's just a domino effect this offseason in particular of guys getting certain kinds of contracts and getting certain guaranteed money on their deals because of those first few deals that trickle in. And we can look at Malik Monk, we can look at Pascal Siakam. Those are going to really be the baselines that other teams now compare their players to. So I think that it's a good deal for the Kings. I think that it's not a long-term deal that ties them down financially. I think that it's pretty generous for them. And I think that based on his production and being a 6th man of the year candidate, I think that this is exactly what they needed. You don't lose out on that bench scoring production behind Fox. You bring back a guy that wants to be there, and now you're going to make a run for the playoffs again.
Brett Siegel of Clutch Points joining us, NBA insider and reporter. Brett, who are some of the other names that might be on the move? I'm hearing everybody in Atlanta might be on the move or available other than DeAndre Hunter maybe, or not DeAndre Hunter, Johnson down there. I'm hearing things out of Milwaukee. Give me some names that you expect to be moved here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Atlanta is certainly a team at the forefront of many other organizations' minds. And you look at Trae Young and DeJounte Murray right away. I've personally been told that they don't want to trade Trae Young. But again, anything can happen in this league. If they're offered the right package and they can't turn it down, that's going to be something that they explore. But DeJounte Murray is certainly more of a player that they would like to deal if they are to cut costs this offseason. Clint Capella is at the front of their list. They want to potentially move Clint Capella, and there's been all that talk of them potentially drafting Donovan Clingan or Alex Sarr at the top of the draft, so it would make sense if they moved on from Capella this offseason. Looking in the Western Conference, I think that it's going to be interesting because you have that Paul George situation that I laid out. You have the Houston Rockets who are looking to be aggressive, and I would never count out the Memphis Grizzlies from making a move either. Zach Kleiman and that front office are always very aggressive during the draft. They move up and down the draft board, and this is an organization that is going to be primed to make a playoff pursuit once again. They got hit really hard by the injury bug this past season. You had John Moran out, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, who they recently got, was out for more than half the year with his finger injury. And then you still have Jaren Jackson there, and you got some really good young talents. You got Santi Aldama, Zaire Williams. So I think that the Grizzlies can be a sleeper team in the West. I could easily see them rising up and claiming a top 4 seed again in the West. And I wouldn't count out them making a big move either, because you still have Luke Kennard on the books. You still have Brandon Clark. Those are 2 contracts that you could possibly move with some draft picks to bring in another solidified talent to really make a strong push in the Western Conference playoff picture.
Yeah, man, I think we agree. Memphis is scary, Brett.
Yeah.
They're definitely scary. One of the teams that's around here and that they have a few names that's on the move, could be on the move, look to sign. Golden State Warriors with Klay Thompson being up in the market. We've heard Chris Paul, of course. They just guaranteed Kevon Looney's contract today. They have a lot of movement. What's your take on where Klay goes? What do you think Klay goes?
It's a very unique situation because Klay Thompson during the year, much like Malik Monk with the Kings, said that he wanted to be with the Warriors. He wants to be a Warrior for life. Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr, they've all been behind the scenes advocating for Klay to come back. But this is a different front office than what's been there with the Warriors in recent years. Mike Dunleavy inherited it from Bob Myers. And quite honestly, it was a little bit of a mess of what he inherited in terms of the financial situation. They brought in Chris Paul. You have that non-guaranteed contract that they could potentially opt into and move if they were to bring back Klay Thompson. So I do think that as of right now, the direction that they're trending with no deal being on the table, no offer being there ahead of free agency, it does really seem like Klay Thompson is going to give a strong sense and thought to leaving the Warriors this offseason and look at other offers from teams in the Eastern and Western Conference as well. Could that potentially be a leverage play to get more and get what he wants from the Warriors? Potentially it could be. And I do know that the Warriors still want Klay Thompson back. They just don't want to pay that kind of price that they paid to Stephen Curry and Draymond Green to retain him. So could he potentially take less on a team-friendly deal? I don't think he's going to. I think that he's going to demand a higher price. And whether or not the Warriors are willing to pay that, that's going to be the ultimate driving force for the Warriors franchise. Because if they don't re-sign Klay Thompson and he leaves in free agency, now all of a sudden you have Kayvon Looney's contract, you have Chris Paul's contract, maybe even Andrew Wiggins. Those are guys that you could potentially look to trade to bring in another big name. And one guy that I've been told to watch, and I reported on that over the weekend, is Paul George. They could potentially pursue George if Thompson is to leave. I would say that's more of a pipe dream at this point than anything else. But again, it all depends on which dominoes fall and in which direction they do fall.
Brett Siegel of Clutch Points joining us. Brett, I was going to ask you about, potential packages that the Warriors could offer. Do they have better assets than the Kings right now? Could they offer up a Kuminga? Would they be willing to include a guy like that in a big deal?
I think that they do have better assets than the Kings in terms of pursuing a star at this time. Obviously not from a draft pick perspective, I wouldn't say. I would think that the Kings picks are probably a little more lucrative than what the Warriors can offer. But from a player standpoint, you got Moses Moody. You have a guy like Brandon Podziemski. If you wanted to move on from him, he played really well in his rookie season and all rookie campaign there. You still got guys like Wiggins, Chris Paul, whose contract is really attractive, not only to move again for another team, but there's interest from Los Angeles and Paul, even before he went to the Warriors, of a reunion there. So I think that there's multiple scenarios that they could look at if they were to pursue Paul George. But I think that there's even more scenarios for the Warriors across the league of leveraging guys like Chris Paul, Andrew Wiggins, Moses Moody in trade talks to potentially bring in another star or another guy making $20 to $25 million in that range. Even if you are to bring back Klay Thompson, there's a scenario where you could bring back Thompson and potentially move on from Paul, Kayvon Looney, and some of those other guys to bring in another established player and pursue another championship late in these guys' careers. So I think that the Warriors front office have a lot of decisions to make between now and the draft. I think that they have a lot of decisions to make between the draft and free agency.
Brett, before we get you on out of here, someone that I've been completely bullish on here and someone I would like to, maybe see enter our organization here in the Sacramento Kings, and he has a lot of baggage, but his name has a little value on the court. That's Miles Bridges. Are you hearing anything, any movement, any type of situation where Miles Bridges could be had?
I do. I think that there's a viable market out there for Miles Bridges. I think that there's a handful of teams interested in his services, but he's going to come at a price. He came off another good year, and granted, he's had all that off the court drama with the domestic violence case. That's caused some teams to not even consider him as a free agent, just from an organizational belief. There's some teams that don't want to deal with that drama, but there's a team like the Detroit Pistons who have shown interest in Miles Bridges in the past. They could be willing to offer him $20-25 million a year, and I think that's kind of the price range that we're looking at for Bridges. So if the Kings wanted to get him, that would most likely be a sign and trade scenario where they would have to give up Kevin Huerter, probably the 13th pick in the draft, maybe even a guy like Davion Mitchell to make that happen. And now you're hard capped because you got Miles Bridges in a sign and trade. So I don't necessarily know if that's an avenue that Monty McNair and the Kings want to go, but it's certainly there and certainly a possibility if Bridges is the guy at the top of their wish list.
Brett Siegel delivering some jewels out here on a Monday. Brett, I'll leave it with this question with you. This week, you expect a lot of movement in the NBA?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a very busy week. I think that we're going to see numerous trades made during the draft, both including established talents and teams moving up and down the draft board. And then once free agency begins, once those first few dominoes start falling, we could start seeing even more trades and and guys like Paul George, if he's going to be on the move, guys like Brandon Ingram and DeJounte Murray, if they're not traded on draft night. I think this is going to be a very eventful offseason. I think it's going to be a lot more eventful than people are making out to be. And I'll say this about the draft too. I think that there's talent up and down this draft board. There may not be a Victor Wembanyama or an Anthony Edwards at the top of the draft board, but there's guys that I could see having double-digit year careers in the NBA and guys that can come in and really help a lot of playoff teams right now. So I think that it's going to be a lot deeper draft than many are making it look like. And we kind of said the same thing a few years ago in 2020, and that turned out to be a pretty good draft then. So I do think that we're going to see movement, and I think that we're going to see plenty of new upcoming talents come into the league.
Brett, before I let you go, one last one.
We lied.
I know I could keep you here all afternoon because we're ending on the draft here. The draft obviously starts Wednesday and Thursday. With that 13th pick, how much value does that actually have, you think, in this draft?
It's going to depend on who falls outside the top 10. Guys like Rob Dillingham, Nikola Topic. I think that Ron Holland is another guy that could potentially fall. And I think that he would be a sneaky get for the Kings if he's on the board at 13. Devin Carter is another name that could potentially fall out of the top 10 and be available in that teens area of the lottery. So I think that it's going to be a very serviceable draft pick to trade. I think that there's going to be teams interested in moving up. Even a guy like Zach Edey, I think teams could potentially target at the end of the lottery if they were to trade up for the Kings pick there. So I think that the Kings are going to have options. I think that there's going to be avenues that present itself to Monty McNair in this organization. And right now, if I had to take a guess, I would lean towards the Kings making a move on draft night where they trade out of the 13th pick and bring in an established player that can help them in their playoff pursuit right now.
Great stuff from great Brett Siegel. Follow him on Twitter, X, Brett Siegel NBA. Brett, appreciate you, man. Good luck and everything, and thanks for jumping on with us.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me. Have a great week.
All right, now we'll talk to Brett Siegel again, of course. Some good stuff right there, some jewels. I know. How you feeling, Jay? You good?
Yeah, Drapes, I'm always enthused when I hear the Kings have a positive direction that they can approach. And so Brett dropping some of those jewels, as you said, it reinvigorates me. It's like, okay, I see where you're going there, Brett. I like that. I hear the positive affirmations.
Yeah.
I will say this though, starting our show earlier, when you see the report that Alex Caruso was close to being had, and that the Bulls chose to go to OKC, that to me set the value of where 13 was at. But now hearing where Brett, who's in these circles, is saying that 13 might have a little more value than Alex Caruso.
Right.
Maybe be able to be packaged with another pick in, a HB or the Miles Bridges thing intrigues me. Now I know it hard caps the Kings and it really sets a precedent on what they can spend. But if you can bring in someone of the ilk like Miles Bridges that does not hard cap you, a 13th pick, a guy like Kevin Huerter and Davion for someone that's going to give me 20 and 8, I'm interested.
Like Bridges checks a lot of those boxes that we're looking for.
I'm interested. If the 13th and a Kevin Huerter and a Davion brings me Jeremy Grant, I'm very interested. Now, if we're talking about 2 first-round picks, that's when I get a little hazy about my conversation. But if the 13th pick, because of Dalton Connect, or as he said, a Rob Dillingham or a Clean, somebody falls down, a D Carter, Devin Carter that people are really interested in, as he talked about, even Zach Edey.
People might want to move
Zach Edey.
Zach Edey.
Man, if Zach
you moving that quick as possible.
I'm talking about the quickest trade that you could possibly make. If Zach Edey's on the board and someone is interested and they're looking to move a Najee Marshall, and I know he's a free agent, but a Najee Marshall and someone else, or a later first round pick, picking in the 20s, man, I'm all for it.
Wow. I love the fact that Brett said he thinks something will happen draft night for the Kings. buckle up, Kings fans. Fireworks seem to be on the way. We'll take your calls, 916-339-1140. We'll dive back into that conversation with Brett, try to unpack that as well. And every day it seems like there are new names on the market for the Sacramento Kings. We're going to take a look at some of those names. You're listening to the Drive Guys here on Sactown Sports.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, Major League Baseball going to Birmingham's historic Rickwood Field for the very important tribute to the Negro Leagues is also a reminder of the A's history in Birmingham. The 1967 Birmingham A's won the Southern League Championship, is considered one of the greatest minor league teams of all time, and featured the likes of Joe Rudy, Tony La Russa, Raleigh Fingers, Dave Duncan, and Reggie Jackson.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver. That includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
We all have some things from the past that we might regret, or better yet, might like to get rid of. I'm talking about that mistake you made years ago that still may be haunting you. How great would it be if that could be expunged and gone? Poof! Just like that. But where do you go for something like that? Try the Gonzalez Law Offices. Jonathan Gonzalez is right here in downtown Sacramento, and he's here for you. Maybe you need someone for wrongful termination. Again, the Gonzalez Law Offices. Go to saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187.
I think that it's going to be a very serviceable draft pick to trade. I think that there's going to be teams interested in moving up. Even a guy like Zach Edey, I think teams could potentially target at the end of the lottery if they were to trade up for the Kings pick there. So I think that the Kings are going to have options. I think that there's going to be avenues that present itself to Monty McNair in this organization. And right now, if I had to take a guess, I would lean towards the Kings making a move on draft night where they trade out of the 13th pick and bring in an established player that can help them in their playoff pursuit right now.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Drapes and Jay here with you on a Monday afternoon, the Drive Guys Sactown Sports. Shout out to Brett Siegel of Clutch Points joining us last segment. Our guy Kevin Gleason Whitey will be back with us tomorrow. And Jay, I'm glad you replayed that sound there from Brett, because that gets me excited. And I see on the YouTube chat, people are excited as well. Aaron says, ooh, sounds exciting. Can't wait. And you know what this reminds me of, Jay? This reminds me of 2016 when I was in Boston. Celtics had the number 3 overall pick. And there was talk that they were going to get Jimmy Butler. Talk that they, were going to make trades. Kevin Durant maybe, or Paul George. All these big names were out there. Ultimately, what they wound up doing is drafting Jaylen Brown. And the crowd inside the TD Garden at the time booed.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, boo,
man, I remember that.
Boo. Like, I'm sure it's out there on YouTube. But the word fireworks came from the Celtics owner. He said, yeah, I expect some fireworks this offseason. So once he said that, fans started thinking, oh, we're going to get Butler, Paul George, and all this. And when they made the pick, and it was Jaylen Brown,
right?
Who they didn't know anything. People in Boston weren't watching Cal Berry. Yeah, they had no idea. And so the whole crowd went boo. I wonder if Wednesday comes and goes and nothing gets done. Is there a player where even if we don't trade him, we'd be happy with?
Yeah, I think there's about 5 or 6.
Right.
I think, and Brett mentioned 1 or 2 that I think Dillingham, I think people would be interested in.
Right. Dillingham, Dalton Connect.
For me, it would be like if you could still and I don't think they sit there for whatever reason, but if you can still a Dalton Connect at 13,
right,
or even, and this is the other part, I could, and I don't, I'm not sure it happens, and Brett didn't say this, but if you like a Dalton Connect, and from all intents and purposes, the Kings have not worked out Dalton Connect.
Right,
he's not on their list. And I looked at it on Hoops Hype, like who they've worked out so far.
Yeah,
he's not on their list. But if a Cody Williams, a guy like that, falls down for whatever reason, let's just say to 10, and you're 3 spots away, and you like that guy, for me to move up 3 spots to a guy that you think is going to help you right now and slip in, and we're trading it. We're trading assets, and I don't want to make it sound like, a person is just anything to throw in, but that's the conversation we're having. If you have to throw in a Davion Mitchell to move up, if you have to throw in a Davion in a second round, plus give up, lose your first round, or move back or move, whatever you have to do. If you got to go to 2031 or 2030 first round pick to get a Dalton Connect, to get a Cody Williams, to get someone that you think can make an impact within the first couple of years, then I think you move up. But I do think in the position that they're in, there's going to be some guys, and we heard Brett talk about Zach Edey, who I didn't think, 2 months ago was even going to be in the lottery.
Right.
Now people are talking about the back end of the lottery.
Yeah.
Spin them.
Spin them. One thing I'm noticing, though, and you tell me too, and I'm just looking at the YouTube chat. You should go check us out on there, Sactown Sports 1140. I feel some frustration among the fan base, meaning Vincent says, I don't want to hear possibilities. I want to see movement. We are always close to getting player X and player Y, but never get them.
Not guaranteed.
Mark, Vincent, I agree. Kings got cold feet on Siakam last year and now regret it. Done with all the near misses. Monk is a great story, but seriously, it just gets us back to where we were last year, losing to the Pelicans 6 times. What I'm hearing from the Kings fan base is they're ready for fireworks. They're tired of being the bridesmaid. They want to walk down the aisle with some of these names.
Yeah.
And maybe part of it is our fault. I'm going to take some blame, Kings fans. Because for the last 3 months, we've been talking about Levine, Grant, getting everybody hyped up and excited, only to be let down. Caruso, only to be let down. But Jay, is the time now, because I know we've talked about it before, and you mentioned maybe you wait to the trade deadline. Are you still standing by that, or based on how the fan base is right now, based on how the rumor mill is? Like, we're hearing all these rumors, and we're going to get it into we're going to spin our wheel of guys coming up here in a minute. But based on all that, is it time to get something done? Is it time to stop falling for the okie doke, the 52 fake out, being hoodwinked? No. Get something done, Monty. Are we at that point?
Well, yeah. I think I'm a little more patient in the form of I'm willing to wait to the trade deadline to see it. But I also say this. I didn't expect, Drapes, to see all these names being tossed around.
Right.
And I'll be honest, if this week and within the next 2 or 3 weeks, like Brett is kind of, saying he sees a lot of movement going on, and he's not the only one. We've heard 50,000 names being tossed around, and normally you hear that, but is it going to happen? I'll say this. If the league, if Paul George, Chris Paul, DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, Brandon Ingram, Alex Caruso, Josh Giddey, like if 12, 15, 20 names are moved and the Kings haven't pilfer one of them, then I'm with Vince. I'm with guys like Vince and I believe Mark and other people that are on our, our YouTube, on our stream and on our text line. Absolutely. I'm going to be upset because as you said, we have to pull the trigger. Now I'll argue to Pascal Siakam because reports is he wasn't going to sign here.
He wasn't going to re-up.
He said, I'm not re-upping here.
Right.
So it wasn't your time to pull the trigger. But I do think if we see a slew of names go through, if Paul George, Miles Bridges, and Klay Thompson, and all these guys on the move, Najee, OG, Anunoby is a free agent now. He's going to test the market. If guys like that are jumping around and moving around the league, and the Kings aren't invested or they're not at the top of that list, if I don't continue to hear the Kings name being tossed around like we heard today, or they were in the Caruso, that lets me know they picked up the phone.
Okay.
They picked up the phone. They were in the Pascal Siakam conversation. They picked up the phone. If we don't hear these conversations being had, then I have a problem. If they're not making a phone call to Washington to gauge what Kyle Kuzma is going to take, I have a problem. If you swing and miss 10 times, who am I to say they're not trying? I can't be mad if they're swinging and missing.
Jay, I'm going to push back a little on that.
Okay.
Because I feel like, and I don't know what the package would be. I'm just saying, I feel like we're at a point now where we may have to overpay to get the guy we want.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And so think about it like this. When you look at the way, I do a baseball analogy to help you guys out. Sometimes you got to swing at the pitch that's out of the zone. Sometimes you can't just sit and wait on that fastball right down the middle because you'll be there all day. If I'm a pitcher, I'm never throwing you that. So sometimes, Jay, you got to swing outside the zone.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
We might be in an 0-2 count right now, big fella, where we may have to chase something. You know what I mean?
I got you. That's a great analogy.
Like if we striking out all these times, sometimes you get impatient and sometimes you got to swing outside the zone.
Yeah, I'm at that point. I just continue to say the calendar year, and I always say the calendar year is this offseason, trade deadline. And then by next year, you better have all your pieces to make a run for the championship.
Right.
Like this team has to be by this year, next year, we have to see you're building for a championship. And as you talk about, not just for the playoffs.
Right.
The Kings, unfortunately, as much as I hear what you're saying, overpaying to me means you have to infuse one or two things. You're either giving up 3 to 4 draft picks down the road or you're giving up Keegan Murray. That's overpaying. For me, because that's what it's going to take for the Kings to overpay. No one cares about the Toyota Corolla package that we keep throwing out there. So with that being said, as Brett said a couple times, you want a guy like Miles Bridges, you got to throw in a first or 2 first-round picks.
Right.
You hear a top-tier guy like Jeremy Grant, you're probably going to have to throw in 2 first-round picks in the Toyota Corolla. You know what I mean? And so if that's what that means, then I'm all in on that. But you better make sure you get it right.
Yeah.
You better be as close as right as possible. And that's what makes people hopscotch, Drapes.
Right.
It's like, oh man, right now I know I can throw 3 first-round picks and a Toyota Corolla and I can go get Brandon Ingram. But guess what? That's it.
That's it.
That's all. That's all it's going. You're not doing anything else down the road but getting fringe guys.
So basically what you're saying is if you got the Toyota Corolla LE package, sweetening the deal with an 8-track soundtrack, and that's not going to get it done.
They ain't going to get it done.
At least throw some new rims on it or something.
Come on,
like
put some 12s on it. Some 18s, Yokohamas. You better put some 10s in the back of the truck. Like to get street value, a little more street value, you're going to have to dress it up, detail it, wax it, throw in a little package, go in there, get you some new carpets to throw on the floor.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Make sure your air freshener, your scent is cherry or something, don't give me that black ice that people. Black ice. Like that's what it's going to take, Drapes.
Right.
And I'm all for it. I've been one of the people on this show that has said, for the perfect person or the perfect person I think might be that guy, I'm willing to give you Keegan Murray. And, now Brett said Michael, from everything we hearing and everything I'm reading, Michael's not up for grabs, Michael Bridges. But if you like OG Anunoby, I'm interested.
You would have did.
I'm interested.
Like
Yeah, I'm interested. If it means the Toyota Corolla and 2 first-round picks,
right?
For me, I'm interested. Yeah, like that's what I'm asking for. If we're talking about, now if we're talking about someone who's over the top or over the moon, that may be infused into something, and I'm just throwing out a name. Let's just say, Paolo Banchero. And he's not on anybody's trade list.
Right.
But if you're talking about a guy like that, then yeah, man, Keegan and 2-3 first-round draft picks, whatever it takes.
Yeah, bring that
a guarantee, someone that's guaranteed, I'm ready to go, Drake.
All right, Jay, I'm going to open up the phone lines next segment, 916-339-1140. Now is your time to jump in. You're listening to The Drive Guys. More Sactown trade talk coming up here on The Drive Guys, Sactown Sports, 1140.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Toyota's 4th of July sales event is on. Get in today for deals on the hottest lineup around. Don't miss a low lease on the 2024 RAV4 Hybrid, 4Runner, Tacoma, and even the all-new all-hybrid 2025 Camry. Get your ride on with Toyota's 4th of July sales event today. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 7/1/24.
Coming up, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to the Serpent Festival at Thunder Valley Casino. Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish, Eric Gales. We'll have that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. And I've been preparing, Jay, mentally to share with the people. And I know I'm going to get some smoke for this.
All right.
Why Drake is the LeBron James of the rap game.
Man, you sure you want to go down this route?
I want to go there. I know where I'm at.
All right.
I know where I'm from. I know where I'm at.
You know, Drake ain't in it. Drake ain't. It's not rose-colored glasses for Drake right now. You know that, right?
But I'm going to tell you, the same reason I'm the LeBron of the radio station.
Okay.
Drake is the LeBron of the rap game.
Right.
And so I got that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, man. I'm super excited. That's going to be part of Drape's Takes. We're going to dive into that. Let's get to the phone lines right now. Hit us up 916-339-1140. We're talking about the draft. We're talking about free agency, what trades the Kings need to make. It is time to check it with our boy TC. TC, what's up, guy? You on with Drapes and Jay?
Drapes and Jay, man, what's going on? Check it, y'all. What's up?
What's up with you, baby?
Man, just tapping in with the homies. Hey, check it in, though. Hey, look. So, hey, I'm all for you. I try to tell y'all it's going to be fireworks. Jay, I'm with you, though, man. Listen, Drapes, I'm with you. Hey, my boy that y'all just had on, he came with some heat. Keep that dude on, bro. We're trying to get him ball every day this week and last week. Get that man on. He's speaking some real stuff in existence, though. Seriously, though, man. Hey, Kuzma's going to be the move, y'all. I'm telling you, that's going to be the move. Monty can't wait. Listen, Drake, I got to listen. I mean, Jay, I got to disagree on that one. We can't wait to the trade deadline, big dog. I'm with Drake. We're going to have to overpay for somebody. That's why I say for Kuzma. If they talking about another future first to get the deal done, you got to get the deal done, bro. That's where we at this point. We can't keep talking about, oh, we don't want to do this trade because it might stunt Keegan's growth. Oh, we can't do this trade because, you know what? We don't want to give him a 2029 first-round pick. We only want to give him 3 seconds. No, bro. It doesn't work that way, dog. We need a name in here. And if that's getting a name and we got to overpay, bro, that's what we got to do as Kings fans, big homie. If we make this trade without giving up that 13th pick, I promise you, the pick has to be Zach. Listen, Jay, I know y'all. It has to be Zach Edey or the boy Ware. It can't be the boy from Sac, the point guard McLean, and the boy. It can't be none of that. I'm with you with Cody, with the boy Williams, the Williams brother.
Yeah.
If he fall or the boy Connect out of Tennessee, if they fall, I'm cool with that. But other than that, I'm not taking no guard. I'm not taking no. I don't know. Shazan, what's his name? Shazan. Man, I'm not doing none of that, bro. Edey and Ware is the pick, homie. I'm telling you.
So Edey, you said is the pick Edey?
It's gonna be Edey, or it's gonna be a boy from Indiana. Ware?
Ware, yeah,
Lil Ware.
So a big man.
Yeah,
then.
Ware,
You're talking
bro.
a big man.
That's a big man, honestly, because we don't. Honestly, that's what everybody's screaming wings. But we need big men that's gonna grab boards, y'all. We can get the wing help. We got months back. We can piece that up together, but you need big bodies, bro. When people like Minnesota, when people want to go big on us, we need a backup plan. Instead of let Alex Lamb walk right now, what big body do we have on the bench right now? to go big with somebody. Set the season starting today. Who do we have?
Dang.
Nobody, right?
All right.
We don't have no big man. We don't have Domas. Man, cut it out. I love Domas, man, but cut it out. You need big bodies. That's all I got, y'all. It's going to be fireworks. I love y'all, bro.
All right, TC, coming in on fire. He said we need to have Brett Siegel on every day leading up to the draft, man.
Brett was preaching to the Kings fans, in many ways, and us too.
He was.
I will, Drapes.
Yeah.
People around there are ready. No doubt about
right.
it. No doubt. And, thankfully we have guys like TC who call into the show who, wear their passion on their sleeve, a la Brandon Ayuk, and they go to the point of saying like, look, Jay, I get what you're saying. And it makes me think, as much as I could wait till trade deadline, meaning the season, guys like TC and you, or, and I won't speak for you, but people who are being represented by the Sacramento Kings fans, the fans, they're like, man, if we got to give a trophy to Doko sign and 4 first-round picks, do it. Let's go. We're in right now. And so I understand the passion. I understand the interest. I understand the want to by Kings fans of not wanting to wait, especially coming off a year where the Kings really didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't make any changes beside, and I want to say fringes, but I mean, even further from the fringes,
right.
The Chris Duartes, the Vazinkovs, they didn't really work out. And so they weren't even the fringes. But I just think if all the movement is going to happen within the next 2 to 3 weeks in the NBA, then I'm with you. I'm with you, Drapes. I'm with TC.
Right.
I'm with the Vincents. I'm with the Marks. Let's go. Go get it.
And maybe I'm off base with this here, Jay, but this last year, even though we have 46 wins, some high moments, it was disappointing.
Yes.
And I believe as an organization, and this is just me speaking, this isn't anybody over there on 500 David Stern Way or whatever it is. Sometimes you got to win the offseason too to get your fan base excited.
Yeah.
If, and so I don't know if it's Kuzma or Levine or whatever, but it has to be something, right? Like that's just my belief. But I know Monty is a more measured guy. He doesn't, the outside noise doesn't impact him. I hear the outside noise. I see the people on the YouTube and the text line and the call us in 916-339-1140. I feel the passion and the excitement, like we want it now. It's Monty's job to ignore all that.
Mm-hmm.
But me, as I sit here, you as you, we feel, and we like,
hard.
We want, let's go. Let's get it going. And so I think, and Brett made a great point. I think this week something is going to happen. I think, and here's the thing, and here's the reason why too, Jay. Based on Sam Amick's and Slater's reporting, the Kings have been active.
Yes.
We almost had fireworks last week with Caruso.
Right.
Can you imagine if they would have traded for that's a firework right there.
Absolutely.
So it's not for a lack of trying.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think something is going to happen here. There's another big name that might be on the trade market that I think moves to the top of my D list. I'll tell you about it. Let's squeeze in Mitch real quick here, Jay. Mitch is on with Drapes and Jay on Sactown Sports 1140. What's up, Mitch?
What's happening, guys? I don't have to remind you that New York never sleeps, right? The sun rises in the east.
All right, Mitch, you ain't got it. We know that. It sets in the west, though. While y'all napping, we still out partying. It's still daylight out here.
You're in the capital, though, so that's a little cliche more than New York City. But anyway, hey, I think I wish they had gotten Giddey. I think Caruso's good. Giddey's, he's young. I want some height. I would trade for Ingram over. I hear Lakers more crying about the trade Ingram. Well, they had a trade. They got Anthony Davis. He's pretty good, I think. I want to just say these 4 guys, and I'll listen afterwards. Cody Williams, I know we spoke that. Dalton.
Dalton Connect.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. I'd love to have him. And there's one more guy that just escapes my mind. I mentioned Cody Isaiah Collier. I know you guys are not hiring him. Oh, Ron Holland. Any of those four guys, I love to see them on the Kings, and thanks for taking my call.
All right, Mitch, thanks so much. Mitch, talking about the NBA draft, it's interesting. When you look at a lot of the latest mock drafts, Ron Holland is the name that pops up on the Sacramento Kings mock draft more than any other player. We'll dive into that. Plus, coming up next, the one player that has moved to the top of the Drapes list, the D list. Forget Zach LaVine. I got the answer for the Sacramento Kings. I'll give it to you next here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. A mild start to Tuesday with temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll notice an increase in clouds, too, with afternoon highs staying in the lower 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you're in the market for a new car, shop Folsom Lake Kia. Low interest rates, low payments, and zero down deals with approval of credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. Now, Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have, because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Stuck in a downtown meeting marathon? Need a post-work pick-me-up? Head over to Public House Downtown, the corner of 16th and L Streets. That's right, Public House Downtown, your one-stop shop for good times. With 60 beers on tap, come catch the game on 25 HD TVs. Public House Downtown serves up creative American food all day long. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, and even weekend brunch. Public House Downtown. Food, beer, sports. Want to see the menu or plan your visit? Check out their website at phdowntown.com. Find your crew and find your fun at Public House Downtown.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Award-winning country sensation Lee Brice is back. One of them girls that ain't trying to meet nobody. You're just here live in concert. Friday, June 28th, 7:30 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. Lee Bryce. Special guest Abby Anderson. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Lee Bryce live.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Go keep the snake. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Who's that, Jay? That's our boy Keek?
Yeah, that's a little Keek.
Keek the Sneak,
Yeah.
our guy? Okay.
I'll go.
All right. Coming up in just a little bit, got Drape's take. Tell you why. Drake is the LeBron James of the rap game. And I'll tell it to you like this. If you're a Kendrick Lamar fan, you ain't going to like this one. That's coming up in just a little.
You pre-warning people?
I'm giving a little preview, right?
Okay,
if you're a Kendrick Lamar fan, you might not want to hear this because I'm going to tell you why my guy Drake is the LeBron James of the rap game. Coming up also, Jay, next segment, I want to do the wheel. I want to do the wheel of names because we got some new names to add into the mix today. And I want to go down yay or nay on potential Sacramento Kings target. But first, saw this on Twitter earlier, Jay. Sent it to you. Sent it to Whitey also. According to Mike Scotto, our boy, friend of show, Hoops Hype guy, Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton are available on the trade market.
Man.
This is what Scotto writes. Rival executives have also come away with the sense that Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton are available on the trade market if Milwaukee can make a notable win-now upgrade. Both players, however, have been mentioned as possible candidates in the past. Nothing has come of it. Portis finished as a Sixth Man of the Year finalist for the second straight year. Let me tell you about my guy, Bobby Portis. First thing I always do when I hear names, Jay, I say, you know what? Let me see what kind of contract they're on.
Got to see the change they make.
Yeah, got to see
There's a fit.
The Skrilla, if you will. Bobby Portis, $12.5 million this upcoming season.
Oh, man, come on.
And then a player option after that for $13 million. So he could become a free agent after this upcoming season. But Bobby Portis, to me, has moved on top of the D list.
He's there.
He is my guy.
Uh-oh.
He is the perfect fit for the Sacramento Kings. And I'm going to give you several reasons why. Ah, yeah, you got the music, the D list. Here's why Bobby Portis, ladies and gentlemen, should be the number one target for Monty McNair this offseason. We already signed Malik Monk, so we already got scoring coming back. We already got guard play coming back. But what we don't have is a true power forward. And it takes a certain kind of power forward to play alongside Domantas Sabonis. It has to be a guy that can stretch the floor. It has to be a guy that can knock down the three. Well, Bobby Portis can do that. Guess what Bobby Portis, Jay, shot from three-point range this past season?
I'm going to say 40%.
Close. 40.7%. Wow. This is a guy that averaged 13.8 points, 7.4 rebounds, and only 24 minutes a game. He's giving you exactly what you need. He could stretch the floor. He could rebound. And those 24 minutes per game that he played in Milwaukee, that ain't happening in Sac. He's playing 32 to 33 minutes in Sacramento. So to me, he's a perfect 17-9 guy and knocks down the three. But more importantly, what Bobby Portis gives you is something that doesn't show up in the box score. He gives you that heart. He ain't the 10-man from the Wizard of Oz, ladies and gentlemen. This dude arrives in Sac with the heart already installed. This is a guy that has the dog in him. And I'm not saying he's going to go out there and fight and pull a Draymond or anything like that. But the thing I know about Bobby Portis, you can see his heart, he wears it on his sleeve. We had JaVale McGee on our show. He was in studio with us. Remember that? And he talked about how we have too many nice guys in the locker room in Sacramento, how we beat an awful San Antonio Spurs team, but everybody was happy, celebrating. We barely beat the Spurs. We should have been disappointed in the way we played. I tell you what, Bobby Portis won't play that. Bobby Portis comes with an edge. And so even though he could be a free agent after the season, I'm not making the same mistake we did with Pascal Siakam, Jay. I'm bringing Bobby Portis to Sac. He's the perfect complement to Domantas Sabonis, Kings fans. Here's the thing. When you have a guy like Domas, you need somebody that can stretch the floor alongside him. So it only takes a certain kind of player to play alongside Domas. I think Bobby Portis is everything we need. And how about this, Kings fans? Bobby Portis been around forever. The dude's only 29. He still got 5 good years. 20.
Feels like he's in his early 30s. Yeah, mid-30s.
29, Jay. Turned 29 February 10th. And I understand he punched out Nikola Mirotic in practice, but I'm going to keep it real with you.
They said Mirotic kind of baited him, though. I've heard it. That's why he's kind of skated by a little bit. I feel like a lot of people was like, Mirotic started it.
Right, but that's the thing,
Portis finished it.
Didn't Michael Jordan slap Steve Kerr in practice?
He did.
Sometimes you need somebody. And so we don't always just need a dog against the competition. We need a dog in practice. We need a dog on the team charter. We need a dog walking through the arena to the game. Somebody that exudes that kind of intimidation. And so to me, Zach LaVine, I love Zach LaVine. But Bobby Portis is my guy. Somebody just texted. Somebody stop Drapes from ruining his career. After all, we've seen this guy wants to side against Kendrick. No, I'll talk about Kendrick in a minute, but you got to agree with me on the Bobby Portis situation, Jay. He's the guy that I think can, make a difference just not only in the box score, but just in the culture sense.
Oh,
there's a reason why the Bucks won a championship. It's when they got Bobby Portis. Mm-hmm. He's the kind of addition that can move us closer to a title.
Man, Bobby Portis fits right in for the Kings. And we don't need him to come off the bench. We need him to be right on the floor in the beginning. The tip goes up. Drapes and Katie are talking about, setting the tone for the game, and you're reading out the starting five, and you got to put out that, that promo. The game is brought to you by Company A and Company B. Bobby Portis need to be out there dapping folks up, throwing powder in the air, making sure the shoes are sticky as they hit the floor. Bobby Portis is a starter on the Sacramento Kings. I would love him. I love him. He is a bona fide dog. He is a bona fide tone setter. Mm-hmm. He's the Draymond Green of the East. I like to talk about it because now, if there's a goon in the league, he's one of them. He's a goon.
He's a goon, but he's a goon nice
for
goon.
Sure.
He's the kind of goon that he won't start it, but he'll end it.
Absolutely.
Like you were saying.
Yeah, he's not Draymond.
Right, he's not Draymond. Right. He's not that dude. But if you mess with him, I guarantee the Pelicans wouldn't come into our building laughing and joking and all of that. Not with Bobby Portis on the watch.
So now he is, let's make sure we solidify this so we don't have the banana in the tailpipe at the end of the week. He is the number one on Drape's list now.
The number one. And I didn't include him before in the D list a few weeks ago because I didn't think he was, going to be made available.
Okay.
But now with our boy Michael Scotto saying, he might be potentially had. And if you're Milwaukee, he's going to be a free agent. He's probably going to opt out. So you might as well get something for him now.
I wonder, and I mean to cut you off, Drapes, but does the 13th pick get you Bobby Portis?
And a player. It has to be a starting caliber player or a good veteran.
Harrison Barnes or Kevin Huerter in the 13th pick.
That might get it.
Because they match. Obviously, Harrison and Kevin both make more than Bobby Portis.
So financially, you could get it done.
And that first round pick, the 13th, are you willing to give up the 13th pick and Kevin Huerter for Bobby Portis?
I'm of the belief that we can re-sign Bobby Portis. I'm of the belief that Bobby Portis See, here's the thing, Jay. Let me tell you. Sacramento's sort of like Boston, meaning in this way. I'm talking about the city. From the outside, it's I ain't going there.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you get there,
never leave.
And the love that you're shown by the fan base, come on, man. And that's what I think Bobby Portis. He would be a god here in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. Bobby Portis? Come on.
Okay, answer the question then.
All right.
Kevin Huerter in that first round pick. Are you willing to? What scares you? The first round pick?
Nothing scares me, big fella.
Okay.
Bobby Portis is my guy.
Got you.
He's whatever it takes to get done.
First round pick in Kevin Huerter.
Yep.
He's done.
I think Bobby Portis he checks so many boxes.
He does for the Kings for sure.
You know, and I'm looking at people on
in
YouTube.
The league.
Yeah, in the league. Mark says Portis is okay, but he's neither a rim protector or a wing defender. What is he talking about? Bobby Portis is an elite defender, perimeter defender. He can switch out. He can knock down the J. I think Bobby Portis is our answer, man. And I still love Zach LaVine. I still would love him. But if it was my druthers, because we already re-signed Malik Monk, Bobby Portis fits all our
He
all
does.
Our
He definitely does. And at a reasonable price tag.
Right.
That's why I love it. And Bobby's the type of guy you bring in and you probably start to negotiate now. Like, I don't even want to get to you teetering on player option.
Yep.
Let's go get it now. I want you to be part of this, part of this core the next 3 to 4 years.
Right.
I need you to be on board with me the next 4 years.
Yes.
I spent the first round draft pick to come and get you. I gave you a shooter to come and get you. I need you to be on the floor, be my general, when it comes to the rah-rah and leadership. And you can't tell me this. A Malik Monk and Bobby Portis led team.
They don't want that.
The locker room has already changed.
It's already changed. That's what we need. And he won a championship too.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
So he got the hardware to back it up.
Hit big shots too.
Big shots. And he's a fan favorite out there in Milwaukee. The fans love him. Remember, he took less to stay in Milwaukee. And so he's already proven that he's willing to stay somewhere he feels comfortable.
Would you, how about this? Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton for the Toyota Corolla package in the first round pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then Pat Connaughton gives you some bench depth.
A little extra. Yeah.
He gives you some bench depth. A guy that can knock
he really
down
replaces
shots.
Huerter.
Right.
Yeah,
Replaces
pretty
Huerter.
much.
And so Bobby Portis is the answer, Kings fans. I want to hear from you. 916-339-1140. Hit us up. Are you yay or nay on Bobby Portis? Plus, when we come back, Jay, get the wheel ready. I got about 10 names here that we need to throw on the wheel, and we're going to see whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down. You're listening to the Drive Guys here on Sactown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Get ready for the Kia Vacaville Summer Sticker Sales Event. This is your chance to make it a summer to remember with incredible deals on select 2024 Sportage and Sorrento vehicles. Kia Vacaville is offering an amazing 1.9% APR for up to 48 months for well-qualified buyers. Or you'll get $1,000 bonus cash on specialty tag 2024 Sportage and Sorrento models. It's the perfect time to upgrade your ride and start your summer adventures. Imagine cruising down the highway in your new Kia from Kia Vacaville, enjoying the advanced features and comfort of the Sportage or Sorrento. Whether you're planning a road trip or just driving around town, these vehicles are designed to elevate your experience. But don't wait too long. These unbeatable deals won't last forever. Your adventure starts now at Kia Vacaville, where every journey is an adventure. Visit them today and find the perfect vehicle for your summer plans. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Drapes and Jay here on Sactown Sports 1140. We're diving into this latest news from Michael Scotto, who says rival executives have also come away with the sense that Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton are available on the trade market if Milwaukee can make a notable win-now upgrade. And now my question to you, Kings fans. Bobby Portis, yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm all in. He's the perfect fit. You know what Bobby Portis is? He's the power forward edition of Marcus Smart. Guy, you know what I mean? A guy that will lay it all on the line on the floor, but also keep things straight in the locker room too. Ain't no smiling or laughing after a loss when Bobby Portis is around. You know what I mean? Ain't no, oh, we'll get him next time, guys. No, Bobby Portis would come in. And the thing about Bobby Portis, from what I heard and what I've seen and gathered, he's extremely coachable, meaning whatever Mike Brown says, he's sort of carrying that out on the court in practice or whatever. He sets the tone that way. Sort of like he's doing in Milwaukee right now. 916-339-1140. Before we get to the wheel of names, let's jump into the phone lines right now. Dwayne is on line one. Dwayne, what's happening? You're on with Drapes and Jay.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I am all in on Portis, man. If we can get Portis and Connaughton, I'm with that all the way, 100%. But the second part of that for me is Edey. I want Zach Edey. So I think if we add both of them, all of a sudden the team changes, and they bring a lot of what the team was lacking, last season. So we take care of a lot of things with them, including free throw shooting, championship pedigree. Edey, from what I understand, is humongous, bro. So that frees up Sabonis too. I just feel like I'm all in. So I hope everybody says that. And I just want to definitely get with that with you guys. So have a good night, guys.
All right, Dwayne, good stuff, man. And I want to throw this other text in here from the 279. We better draft Edey. This is in all caps. We need size. What is up with the Zach Edey? I feel like he's moving up now. Like, everybody's in on Zach Edey, it seems like.
We had Kristen Peak on last week, Friday. From Yahoo Sports, does a great job, draft analyst and insider. And she said she has heard in circles draft Zach Edey could be picked as high as 10, 8, 9, 10. Like, this dude is flying up the board.
Man,
he must be having a heck of a workout. Right. He must be shooting the three very well, showing great touch. I know his numbers, athleticism-wise, surprise people compared to a lot of the other bigs. And, as much as he ran decently, but as far as his quickness and lateral movement, surprised a lot of people. And to me, I don't know, man. I think he's going to be a guy who's in the league for 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah. No,
Frank Kaminsky.
Yeah,
a Plumlee.
Solid role player, but ain't going to be a star or anything like that. But it seems to be a lot of people high end on Zach Edey. And I like Edey as a player. I just don't like the fit here for Sacramento, to be honest with you. I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now. Vincent says, we need a star. Portis is nice, but he doesn't move the needle. What?
Yeah,
come on. What?
He does move the needle. He does. Yeah. He does exactly what the Kings are missing.
Yes. And he says, especially in regards to ticket sales, televised games, scoring, this feels like a smaller move. We need an all-star. But I don't know if we can get an all-star, Jay. We just went through it earlier in the show. You're going to pay De'Aaron Fox $359 perhaps. You got Sabonis at $217. You're going to have to pay Keegan Murray. To me, an all-star superstar that you bring in, you're talking a $40 million player at least. Can we really afford that? And Kyle Kuzma ain't no all-star. Let's call it what it is. He ain't no all-star.
Yeah, I mean, Kuzma and Portis are just as important. They play just as important roles for their team. And then, we're talking about the Wizards. He's the leader over there with Jordan Poole when it comes to putting up buckets and points.
Right.
But I think Bobby Portis does a lot of different things that the Kings lack. As much as people are looking at Kyle Kuzma, the potential, the length, it's not like Bobby Portis is 6'3".
Right.
It's not like he's not, as you said, 40.7 from 3-point range. Right. He's a all NBA defensive type of guy. He's a dog. He's exciting. He's always in people's faces. He plays with that energy. He, like you said, it's a great analogy or comparison. Him and Marcus Smart fit perfectly.
Right.
He is a Marcus Smart, a big fella of the Marcus Smart. I'm with you, man. I know it doesn't move the needle. It's not Brandon Ingram. It's not Zach LaVine. It's not OG Anunoby. It's not those guys, but I think he plays an important role for what the Kings need.
Is he our Aaron Gordon? You know what I mean? Sort of like Aaron Gordon with Denver.
I think he does better than, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of
definitely Aaron Gordon.
That, a missing piece that just fits in well. 7'2" wingspan too. I'll throw out there at you. Jay, you ready to do this wheel?
Yeah, I do. Real quick, I want to put this from Jonathan Giovanni from ESPN.
What did he say?
Talking about Zach Edey and just the potential. I look at him and say, what if Jonas Valanciunas was 6 inches taller? If Jonas Valanciunas was 6 inches taller. So he's comparing Zach Edey to Valanciunas. That's if you can get Valanciunas
right, that's a pretty good
Zach
player.
Edey and 6 inches taller, then sign me up.
That's a pretty good player. You're right about that. Like Valanciunas has had a good career, and he provides a little toughness too. And so, no, I'm with you. All right, we ready for this wheel, dude?
Yeah,
I got it. All right, so let me explain what we're about to do right here. Seems like every day there's some new names that jump out on the trade market or free agency market, and we decided, you know what? Let's just throw them on the wheel, spin the wheel, and go thumbs up or thumbs down. Here's who I got: LaVine, Ingram, Brook Lopez, Portis, Caleb Martin, Jeremy Grant.
Ooh, love it.
Yeah, Paul George, Najee Marshall.
Okay.
And I got Kyle Kuzma as well.
You got Bobby Portis on that list yet?
I got Portis on there. So I got 9 right now. I'm sure I'm missing other players, maybe a Dorian Finney-Smith or Tim Hardaway Jr. Let me throw both those.
I got another one. You got Timmy Hardaway on there. What about Clint Capella?
Ah, yes, Clint Capella.
How about that?
Yes, Clint Capella. All right, Jay, you want to spin the wheel? All right, do it next. Yeah, we'll take a quick break and then we'll spin the wheel. You're listening to The Drive, guys, here on Sactown Sports 1140.
18 number ones. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now, Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, I love you just the way Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A mild start to Tuesday with temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll notice an increase in clouds, too, with afternoon highs staying in the lower 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Your water heater. Old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
NBA basketball returns to Golden One Center for the 6th annual California Classic Summer League, presented by Ticketmaster. Your Sacramento Kings will host the San Antonio Spurs, Charlotte Hornets, and for the first time ever, the Chinese national team. The 3-day event on July 6th, 7th, and 9th will feature 2 games each day, and single-day passes include lower-level seats for both games for as little as $29. Fans attending Saturday will enjoy a free concert from rock band Chevy Metal. For more information, visit kings.com/California Classic.
Stuck in a downtown meeting marathon? Need a post-work pick-me-up? Head over to Public House Downtown, the corner of 16th and L Streets. That's right, Public House Downtown, your one-stop shop for good times. With 60 beers on tap, come catch the game on 25 HD TVs. Public House Downtown serves up creative American food all day long. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, and even weekend brunch. Public House Downtown. Food, beer, sports. Want to see the menu or plan your visit? Check out their website at phdowntown.com. Find your crew and find your fun at Public House Downtown.
Ah, the sweet feelings of summer. The kiss of warm sun on your skin. The softly scented breeze blowing through the trees. Don't worry, you have Off Clean Feel, fragrance-free mosquito repellent that feels good on skin, so even mosquitoes can't ruin those sweet feelings of summer. Off Clean Feel. Prevention is the best protection from mosquitoes.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Drapes and Jay here with you on Sactown Sports 1140. Hit us up 916-339-1140. Always check us out on the YouTube chat. Sactown Sports 1140. All right, Jay, let's get into this, man. This is something you and I came up with, man. A segment we're going to call Wheel of Names. How about this? Every day there's new names that get thrown into mix. Levine, Ingram, Lopez, Portis. Today is Portis, Caleb Martin, Pat Connaughton. And so we're going to spin the wheel. I got the names right here, and whatever the wheel stops on, we will decide yay or nay on this guy. Let me run down the list real quick. Levine, Ingram, Lopez, Portis, Caleb Martin, Jeremy Grant, Paul George, Najee Marshall, Kyle Kuzma, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, and Clint Capella. Jay, let's spin that wheel. That one right there. Clint Capella. Report out of Atlanta is that pretty much everybody is made available, including Clint Capella, who the Kings would need to trade for, Jay. Yay or nay on Clint Capella?
I'm out.
What?
I'm out on Clint Capella, and the
I'm
only reason
shocked,
why
big fella.
is there are some bigger names, and my eyes are a little more googlier.
Really?
For what you're going to pay Clint, and I checked it a little earlier. I need to check it again because it just slipped my mind.
I got it right here.
Let's see here. What's he getting paid next year?
22.265. Final year of his deal.
Yeah. When we got guys like Brett Siegel of Clutch Points NBA Insider come on this show and say Miles Bridges is in the realm of $22 to $25 million to be had. Now you're gonna have to trade first round pick and all that. But if Miles Bridges is $25 million and Clint Capella is 22, and I'm not counting their pockets, I just see an upswing with $3 more million, which is chumps change to the NBA. I'm out on Clint Capella.
What about rim protection, defensive anchor, all that?
You got me excited on Bobby Portis. I'm out on Clint Capella. How about yourself?
I think I'm out on Clint Capella also. And my reasoning is he can't play the four. He's not, you know what I mean? He's no stretch four or nothing like that. So it's not like he could play alongside Sabonis.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and so I'm out on Clint Capella. All right, we agree on that. No on Clint Capella.
That's a big NO.
All right, let's spin the wheel again, the wheel of names.
Man, we're passing up on Clint Capella.
I know, that's crazy,
we're getting
right?
greedy, my man.
But are we passing up on Caleb Martin? Opted out, going to be a free agent. You know, maybe we could get him for the mid-level, something like that. Guy that been to the finals, hit big shots against Boston last year. Caleb Martin, yay or nay?
That is an absolute yes.
Wow, okay.
He is in the form of, and I'm just going to stick with the Miles Bridges comparisons, he is somewhat like Miles Bridges. I also think Caleb Martin, and we saw it not this past year, but last year in the playoffs. He did some things that I think a lot of people didn't expect.
Yeah.
He's not a 3-and-D guy because he's better team defender, in my opinion, than he is a one-on-one defender. But if you can play in Miami, it's one of those things. It's like what we talk about. If Danny Ainge is trying to trade for you, then I'm all in. Same thing. If Pat Riley believes you can come play for me and it's shown that he can and be successful, I think Caleb Martin would be a perfect 3 for the Sacramento Kings.
Come in with that heat culture mentality.
Oh, man, come on, man.
You know what I mean? And let's keep it real. Not this playoffs, but last, and he won't cost that much. He went into Boston and hit some big, like he stood toe-to-toe, face-to-face with Tatum and Jaylen Brown and didn't back down.
He did.
He did not back. Hey,
and he played college down the road here.
Oh, yeah.
At Nevada Reno.
Yeah. Up the road, him and his brother up there in Nevada Reno. All right. I'm in on Caleb Martin.
Okay.
I think he's a low-cost guy, a good depth guy. I don't know if he's necessarily your starter, but he's an NBA player.
Yes.
And I think that's what we need. So, all right. I'm in on Caleb Martin. We're both in on Caleb Martin. Spin that wheel, Jay.
As Barkley is up on ESPN or TNT, hockey coverage.
Oh, shucks. All right. Ooh. Kyle Kuzma. This is the sexy pick. This is the sexy name. Everybody and their mom seems to be high on Kyle Kuzma. Manageable contract too, Jay. I think it's like 21, 22, and it goes down as well. Kyle Kuzma.
I'm in.
Really?
I know he's kind of split the fence. He's 50-50 guy here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Because his name has been tossed around so much throughout the waves of Sacramento. Everybody has an opinion on Kuzma. I would be willing to give up this year's first round pick.
No more picks?
Yeah, he's a first round pick type of guy for me. Yeah.
Okay.
And I would take the shot knowing just from everything we've heard. We have draft analysts. We've had, NBA guys. Some people love the draft. Some don't. Some believe you can find, a serviceable guy. I think with Kuzma, as a third option, maybe a second option, he's going to get you 18 to 22 every night. He's long. He's athletic. He doesn't have a dog in him to me, but he also has an attitude, if that makes sense. Like
he does walk
got an
around with a
attitude
little
about himself.
swagger.
Yeah,
he does.
And the one thing he also does is he's in on the NBA circles. Like he's a fashion guy. He's going to bring some eyes to Sacramento as well, and he's going to spice up our life here in the city. And I know that doesn't, coincide with what he does on the floor, but I think it all encompasses a superstar. Yeah. And I think that's why he's always one of those guys that's tossed around, because as much as he's not a superstar on the floor, he's known wide. Like he spreads a wide cast net, in the NBA circle. So I'm
fashion.
Yeah. I'm in on Kuzma. Yourself?
I'm gonna say I'm out.
Okay.
And last year this time I was in, but now I'm out. And here's why. One, when I look at Kyle Kuzma, 28 years old, 18.8 field goal attempts. Is he going to come here and be okay with 13 or 14 field goal attempts? Like, I still feel like Kyle Kuzma is trying to make his name in the NBA. Like, he's still trying to be the man. Not in an egotistical way or anything, but just he's trying to, carve his niche out.
He's got something to prove?
Something to prove, which could be a good thing if you're Sacramento too. But also, how about this, Jay? 3-point percentage, Kyle Kuzma. And I know I'm box score watching and stat line last year, and I'm going to just go back, 33.6. The year before that, 33.3. Year before that, 34.1, 36.1, 31.6, 30.3. So he's not a 3-point, marksman or anything.
Yeah, that rifle sways to the left here and there.
What is it? The front of it is bent a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, and so can he make the three? Yes, but he's not a knockdown three. He's
not.
He's a good player, but I got other guys ahead of him.
Okay.
I got other guys ahead.
And he's
of him.
not a slasher. Like, the thing about Kuzma is he's good, but I think some people are still trying to figure out what he's good at.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy, he shot 18 close to 19 times per game and averaged 22 points. I don't know. That's not a good ratio,
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
think. You know what I mean? Like, if you shoot 18 times a game, let's say, let me look at his free throw attempts. Gets to the line 3.4 times a game. So it's not, if he got to the line 6-7 times a game, then that 22 becomes 25, 26 points. Then he's doing something.
Right.
And so I'm out on that. That's
Okay.
our first split on that one.
Okay.
That's our first split.
No Kuzma.
All right. Where are we at a time-wise? Yeah, let's do another one. Spin that wheel. I got to get in my Drake take, too. Don't forget that. I got to get that in. All right. Najee Marshall. Ooh.
Sign me up. Quick.
I ain't need to tell you the numbers.
I don't even need
I ain't
you
need
to.
tell you what it might cost or anything
Sign
like
me
that.
up, Drapes. I think he has an expanded role waiting to happen in the NBA. I believe for what he's done, he is proven himself and deserve an ample opportunity to go somewhere and log 20 to 25 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what team he's at. Now, I think he'll garner closer to 30 minutes, depending on, if it's a bottom rung team, a Spurs, a Detroit, Portland. But I think on a good quality playoff team, he is in your top 7, 8 rotational. And one thing about the Pelicans, they had everybody coming off the bench. It felt like they were throwing waves at you, So sometime he be the 6th man, sometime he be the 10th man. I think he has the opportunity. Here we're blessed to have Malik Monk, and if it sounds like he's going to come off the bench, probably. I think Najee's right behind him. I think he's the type of guy here in Sacramento. He'd be your 7th guy almost.
Okay, so not a starter, let's say.
No, I don't think he's a starter.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one thing he does bring is that toughness. I remember when we played him, and the Kings, like, he was all up in Fox. Like, he was out to prove something. He was looking to shut De'Aaron Fox, and he plays with a little bit of swagger. And I agree with you. A guy who might, get a bigger role, might be able to show a little bit more.
Yes.
And so I'm with you. I'm in on Najee Marshall. I'm definitely on him. And I don't think it'll cost a lot. He's a mid-level guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you got to pay him $20 million.
You might be able to sneak him for $8 to $10 million.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm looking at his current contract. Man, he only made $1.9 million last year.
Let me give you $7 million for the next 3 years. Something of that movement. 3 for 21, 2 for 16. Yes. And you see, I think he's not a prove it type of guy, but he does have to show some other aspects of his game to get that next contract. A la Malik Monk. You throw him 2 for 16, 2 for 15, catch him for 7, 7.5. To me, that's a steal. I think he does wonders for the Kings coming off the bench as your 7th or 8th guy. Sign me up.
All right, I'm with you on that. I'm trying. All right, Jay, what should we do time-wise here? You the radio expert.
Well, you got to get Drake's takes in.
I got to get this Drake's
The wheel is going to be here all week.
All right, we'll do the wheel again later this week, especially when Whitey's back. Coming up next, Drake's take, why Drake is the LeBron James of the rap game. You don't want to miss this. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
We see a lot of news about teens vaping, but teens see something else. Videos on social media that glamorize it and downplay the dangers of nicotine. How can parents talk so kids will listen? Use facts. 1. Nicotine can rewire teens' brains. 2. It can make teens more anxious. 3. Changes to the brain can be permanent. So even when it hides behind a new look, nicotine is brain poison. Go to undo.org for more.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento, and I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 76 years. Look for made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. This 4th of July, we know it's right around the corner, and we know what that means. Grilling, hanging with family, for me, even golfing, and of course, riding around in my all-new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. I'm here to tell you this 4th of July is the perfect time to celebrate with incredible lease offers from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You can drive your dream car for just $444 per month with $4,000 down, or you can enjoy 1.99% APR on select certified pre-owned models. I urge you, go to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now. I did it, and it's the best car driving experience I've ever had. From the sales team to the service team, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton treats you right. So get your dream car right now and enjoy it over the holiday weekend. Visit Mercedes-Benz of Stockton today or online at mbofstockton.com. Just tell them your boy Drape sent you.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Drapes and Jay here on Sactown Sports, 1140. Want to give away these pair of tickets to Serpent Festival at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Whatever you do, don't miss Slash and his brand new Serpent Festival at the venue. This show celebrates the blues with an all-star lineup featuring Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish, and Eric Gales. All you got to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number 4 to score that pair of tickets. Check out Slash Serpent Festival at Thunder Valley Casino Resort Friday, July 12th. For more information, go to SactownSports.com. Once again, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140 to win a pair of tickets to Serpent Festival at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Looking for caller number 4 right now. All right, Jay, it's time for Drape's Takes, big fella.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down.
It's time for Drape's Takes.
I'm just going to take a
ladies and
step
gentlemen.
back on this one.
Listen
and let
to
you
what
go.
I got to say. So I was at home watching Kendrick Lamar last week, Jay.
Pop out.
The pop out. It was
Juneteenth.
fire.
That thing
it was
fire.
amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Ode to Los Angeles, West Coast hip hop. He brought out everybody. Had Dr. Dre out there with him. It was amazing. And I got to thinking, ladies and gentlemen, where's Kendrick Lamar been at? To me, his last album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, let's keep it real, ladies and gentlemen, was a flop. His last great album was 2017. Damn. So what do you do when you're struggling? What do you do when your numbers are down? You're not on the front page. Nobody's talking about you. What do? You pick a fight with the biggest rapper in the game. That's Drake. And that's exactly what Kendrick Lamar did. Drake is the LeBron James of the rap game. Lance Stevenson, Deshaun Stevenson, Gilbert Arenas, Dylan Brooks. Drake is LeBron. Don't believe me? Pusha T. You know who Pusha T was? Pusha T was Lance Stevenson. You know who Kendrick Lamar is? He's Dylan Brooks.
Disrespect.
He's Dylan Brooks.
Disrespecting K-Dot. Dylan Brooks. And I like Dylan Brooks.
But I'm saying, you see what I mean? Like, I feel like Drake is the best thing that happened to Kendrick Lamar. Nobody was really checking for Kendrick like they were back in the day, Jay. But this battle has reinvigorated Kendrick, brought out some of his best stuff. Now he got the summer anthem, and it's all because of his feud with Drake. That's my take. Kendrick's great. Amazing artist. But his last great album was 2017. The last time he was relevant, 2000s. And it's not an East Coast, West Coast beef or anything. I'm just calling it like I see it, Jay.
All right, Biggie.
I was a Kendrick Lamar fan.
Okay, Mobb Deep.
Damn. I go back to Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, all great albums. But you can't tell me Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was a great album. The dude had fallen off.
All right, Nas.
He fell off. And so, how do you get back up? Let me pick a fight with Drake. It was the best thing to happen. Tell me I'm wrong, people. Jay, tell me I'm wrong. Your boy Kendrick wasn't on that level.
On what level? He was a superstar.
But he had fallen off. His last couple albums were a little suspect, Jay.
Let me make a pitch for Kendrick on this form. Kendrick is kind of old school, cut from that cloth of I'm not gonna make a single and ride it out social network, via YouTube and then make another one every 3 months. Kendrick is still of the ilk of I'm going to make an album. I'm gonna release the album. I'm going to ride the album out for 2, 3, 4 years, and then I'll give you another album. Kind of like what you used to see old school artists do, right?
Yeah.
And I say old school artists, we're talking about 90s
just put
and
out
80s.
stuff all the time.
It ain't just, I ain't going on TikTok and making a song and pushing it like Drake, like the guy Drake, the Lollipop King.
Lollipop King.
I think Kendrick is more cut from the cloth of 90s generation, 80s generation, even early 2000s. I'm gonna make an album. You flip through the source, coming soon.
Right.
Didn't have a date yet. Right. It was coming soon. Then you got the date. You like, oh man, I'm about to slide the tower, Virgin. I'm getting ready to go over to the warehouse, Sam Goody. Like, I think Kendrick is kind of based upon that type of style. I think Kendrick is he was already a star.
He was a superstar.
Yeah, like no doubt about it. He was a superstar. He's just kind of one of them guys, and I'm trying to think of somebody in he's kind of like a Devin Booker. Like Devin Booker's a superstar, right? We know Olympic team. Yeah. I mean, the dude's a guy. He's got the money, the shoe deal. He's everywhere. He's got the he used to date, a very known woman. Yeah. Like that's Kendrick. But Book is kind of reserved though. Like Book is kind of I'm in my own lane type of star. You don't see Book on commercials and Saturday Night Live and all that type of stuff. That's Kendrick. That's K-Dot. Now, two things. If LeBron is, if Drake is LeBron, then Kendrick is Steph Curry. Because he's absolutely buried LeBron right now. Nah, come on.
No, Jay. But this is what I'm saying. Drake is almost Teflon proof. Remember, people thought Pusha T murdered Drake?
He did.
I ain't heard from Pusha T since.
The new Clips album coming out. You know
coming
that?
Out?
Did you see that?
I didn't see
Him
that.
and his brother are putting the Clips back together.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm a big Clips fan. I like the Clips. But I'm hearing people saying Kendrick killed Drake's career, murdered him. Drake is Teflon, bro. He's on a different level. And as great as Kendrick is, and people are saying, Drapes, you ain't been checking for Kendrick. I got all of Kendrick's old stuff. You know who Kendrick is? He's Taylor Swift. And let me tell you why.
What?
Good Kid, Mad City. Okay. Great. Damn, great.
We're talking about five mic classics from the source.
That's what I'm talking about. Taylor Swift. Her night, and some people might think I'm crazy. Her 1989 album, great. Reputation, great. But then she had Lover, Folklore, Evermore, and people are like, maybe she ain't got it anymore. Maybe she fallen off. That's how I feel like Kendrick was. He was falling off a little bit, and Drake sort of like reinvigorated him, brought him back from the dead almost.
No. See, you disrespecting K-Dot. Kendrick wasn't dead. That's what I'm trying to say. Kendrick had all the respect due, and people know he's not the type of guy to come out with an album every year. He's doing a lot of different other stuff. The other point about Kendrick too, man, is I think Kendrick and Drake is they've kind of exchanged barbs over the last 3, 4, or 5 years anyway.
Yeah,
so it's not like Kendrick created this all out of the way. Like it wasn't like Meek Mill. You know what I mean? I hate to go Philly style
Don't
on
do
you.
that to me, that guy.
It wasn't like some of these guys, like Rick Ross kind of came out of nowhere disliking Drake because, and he said, you put a cease and desist on French Montana's album. Like Rick Ross to me was like, he's looking to battle Drake a little bit and kind of weasel his way into, a Drake argument.
Why did it all pop off then? Like, why'd all of a sudden it just boil over?
Man, from what I understand, they had some bad blood stemming from a song that they did it with each other, and you know how it go. The circle is big, but it's very, very small, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I don't think Kendrick was out there looking for the heat with Drake. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he was, and he said it a couple times. Yeah. This was something that was boiling over and waiting to happen. It just so happened to go right now when it came to. It was perfect timing. But I will say this:
you just go play all.
Yeah, because we ain't playing. You want me to give you Drake? Here you go, man. Let me give you this pop artist. This pop artist.
You gotta
music.
play this one. You gotta play this one. You're killing me. Yeah.
Let me give you this pop artist music. You should be saying Taylor Swift is Drake. Yeah. Drake is Taylor Swift. How dare you disrespect that boy from Compton like that?
I'm just saying, and I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan.
Are you?
I am.
Okay.
I will say this though. I thought Drake won the battle in terms of the top 3 songs.
Oh man, stop.
Kendrick, he got the number 1 song. He got the top song.
Not like us. Yeah.
No, but after that,
Euphoria is not number 2.
That's 4. Dude, Euphoria is 4 because I don't like the slow start to it. I don't like the. I don't know.
He hit you with 3 versions. Look,
I'm just saying.
Drake did. This is how creative Kendrick is. He let Drake jump out there. First of all, Drake didn't even want to claim his diss track at first. Now he said it was leaked out and all that stuff. If you and your producer in there producing, rocking a new diss track?
Yeah,
it's only 1, 2, 3 people. Hopefully in your studio when you come in with a diss track, it ain't a whole slew of people. How did it get leaked? Then people are asking, "Is this you? Is this AI?" He didn't want to put his name on it. Kendrick just waited. He bid his time. He threw out the bait to Drake with the like us, or excuse me, with the like what or whatever.
Yeah.
The future Metro Boomin.
Oh yeah, that one.
He threw the bait out there.
He threw the bait, and
Drake
J. Cole took it too, and then J. Cole was like, "Oh
no! Hey, this Devin Booker. He's Devin Booker's on the other side. I'm gonna stay away from that." And so this was something that was brewing. I think it takes titans and heavyweights to battle each other. And I think, and what I say with Kendrick is Kendrick waiting on Drake to put his name on it. Like he finally put it on Apple, and then what happened? Kendrick's like, "Oh, so you're claiming it?
No, now
I'm gonna drop you for you, right?" And then he dropped a 3-piece. I mean, a 3-piece classic. He gave you 3 different beats,
push-ups.
Then guess what? What did Drake do?
What did he do?
What his next song?
He came with a 3-piece.
With a 3-piece.
Yeah, he came with the 3-piece.
He's copycatting.
All I know is, and this we up against it. I want to hear from you guys. 916-339-1140. Is Drake the LeBron James?
I see where you're going, though, Drake.
But here's
I see where you.
That's like I feel like Drake is up there, and you got all these people trying to take shots at him, and Kendrick's great, but man. People weren't checking for him like that for a minute, though, Jay. Maybe that's just the way he operates. We're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with Kendrick, but I will say this. Now, let me put this in before we break, and we'll respond to this on the backside. 916-339-1140. Drake is beside, I think, this one. This one gonna hurt him a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think one thing Kendrick did is he called out the authenticity of Drake. Like other people have, DMX called him out, but it wasn't rapping.
Right.
He was on the studio. He was he was doing what we're doing, radio. I think this one more than Pusha T, because Pusha T just exposed his life, what he was, didn't tell us. This one, it was like he put everything on the line, right? And so I think it's gonna hurt him in the form of authenticity, but I do agree that Drake has crossed over so much as a pop star that it ain't gonna affect him on sales and like
the 17-year-old girls ain't gonna be like,
they don't care about Kendrick.
They don't care about Kendrick
Nope.
like that.
Nope.
All right, we're gonna dive into that. We'll get back into the Kings as well. You're listening to The Drive, guys. Hit us up 916-339-1140.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
NBA basketball returns to Golden One Center this July 6th, 7th, and 9th for the California Classic Summer League games. 3-day passes in the lower level start at just $66 and include access to all 6 games. See your Sacramento Kings as they host the San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets, featuring newly drafted rookies, NBA sophomores, and other athletes competing to make NBA rosters. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
With T-Mobile, you can save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, we'll pay off your locked AT&T phone up to $650 and you'll get a new 5G phone for free.
Pay out via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Free phone up to $830 via 24 monthly bill credits with qualifying planning credit plus tax and $35 connection charge. Contact us before canceling to continue bill credits or they stop and required finance agreement balances due. See T-Mobile.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, Major League Baseball going to Birmingham's historic Rickwood Field for the very important tribute to the Negro Leagues is also a reminder of the A's history in Birmingham. The 1967 Birmingham A's won the Southern League Championship, is considered one of the greatest minor league teams of all time, and featured the likes of Joe Rudy, Tony La Russa, Raleigh Fingers, Dave Duncan, and Reggie Jackson.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver that includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay to store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
It's the Make This the Summer event, and it's going on now at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi, everyone. Leonard Harrington here, and I want to tell you how we make your buying experience at Lodi CDJR as easy as possible. You can come in for a visit, or you can do everything online at LodiCDJR.com. Just pick out the make and model you want and scroll through our large in-stock inventory. Next, schedule a test drive at the click of a button. If you want to finance your vehicle, you can start your paperwork online too, saving you plenty of time before you get here. And if you're looking to sell your vehicle or looking to buy, we'll give you an instant cash offer online too. At Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we make it easier than ever to put you into a new vehicle. It's what we do. Online at LodiCDJR.com or in person. We're right off 99 in Kettleman, where we're open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And, of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And, as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you
Putting it down. Final hour of the drive, guys. Our guy Kevin Gleason, Whitey, will be back tomorrow. Appreciate everybody checking us out on the YouTube chat. I see you out there, Sactown Sports 1140. Also on the text line, 916-339-1140. Two big stories we're talking about today. One, The Athletic. Our guy Anthony Slater, Sam Amick, coming out with a story why the Sacramento Kings are shopping their number 13 pick as part of an aggressive offseason. You know, one of the nuggets they dropped in there was that the Kings were close to a trade for defensive ace Alex Caruso last week, offering the number 13 pick to Chicago as the key chip. The Bulls surprised many by opting to go with the OKC offer. They also dropped a little nugget about De'Aaron Fox, who is eligible for an extension but won't sign it this season. Maybe next season when he's eligible for even a bigger bag, becomes All-NBA, All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year. The article says Fox's future looms in the background as league sources say the All-Star guard has decided not to sign an extension this year, in part because he wants to see how the roster takes shape for the long haul. And it's that last part, in part because he wants to see how the roster takes shape for the long haul. I'm not necessarily buying that. I think it's more of a financial decision for De'Aaron Fox. He can sign, I think, 5-year, $359 million deal next season if he hits certain benchmarks. So I think it's more of a financial thing, but it does raise some questions, right? So that's our one big story. Our second big story is what we had last segment, my Drape's take, that Drake is the LeBron James of the rap game, meaning when your numbers are a little low, when you need to get back on the map, you invoke Drake's name. You involved him in the beef, a la Pusha T, a la Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick?
I give you Pusha.
Are you giving me Pusha?
I give you Pusha. I ain't giving you K-Dot, though. I give you Meek Mill.
Jay.
I ain't giving you K-Dot.
Here's why I put K-Dot in that list. And you tell me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not a fan as much anymore. But his last album, the last four, I'm not talking about guest spots. I'm talking about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Did it live up to the hype, Jay? I don't think it did, big fella.
Because he created and I'm dating myself.
Yeah.
It's tough when you put out the masterpiece and you have a 5-mic album. It's tough to fit.
It's hard to bounce back. Yeah, follow it up.
Yeah. And again, K-Dot is the type of guy, Kendrick, he's not going to give you an album every year. He's got other things on his plate. You know, he's a philanthropist. He's got a lot, as he said, I'm raising my son. He's teaching, he's educating. He's in the community. You saw all from so many artists that mess with Kendrick, and according to what we've seen, this Not Like Us video was amazing when it comes to the city.
Yeah.
K-Dot wasn't, and I think they were just stars, mega stars that had a little issue, a little tiff, and it was about time that it was handled. And LeBron, Steph Curry got put on him. He went and got the rings on LeBron. Like Steph's go, in the pantheon, LeBron is going to be, if not number 2, number 1, depending on who you ask.
Right.
Steph ain't gonna be number 1 or number 2, but he's always gonna have a one up on LeBron
because he beat him in the head.
Smacked him a bunch of times. It's K-Dot, and with the knowledge of what you're saying, our children, the pop culture, the masses, the TikTok fans, this ain't gonna affect Drake at all. He gonna sell out Golden One Center when he come through here.
Yep.
He gonna sell out, whatever arena that he walks in, because the TikTok fans and the pop culture, like you said, the Taylor Swift, they gonna fall in. But the culture, the streets, as you said, the hip hop heads, the rap gods, this one's dented Drake when it comes to that, because he was already teetering on the fence of, man, this dude, as I say, he's a lollipop guy. He was a lollipop rapper.
let me just say this.
Doesn't mean he ain't LeBron, though. I agree.
Right, but
I see your point.
And when it comes to this battle, and maybe Drake takes a loss for this, doesn't get as much credit. What are the one-liners that stick? The A minor,
for sure.
You know?
Oh, there's too many from
K-Dot,
K-Dot, though. The OV.
Is
blank.
that's weak.
Come on, man.
That's weak. That's not creative, Jay. That's not creative.
Ain't nobody came up with it. Ain't nobody came up with it.
But all right, so we got the A minor, and okay, if you want to throw in the
what
OV.
about when I see you in Sexy Red?
Oh yeah,
yeah, from Euphoria. Like there's a bunch of them K-Dot dropping.
But how about the one where Drake, and this isn't at K-Dot, at Metro.
Okay.
Shut your make some drunk. That's gonna be one that hit. That hit, yo. It's so I don't know, man. I just feel like when you look at Kendrick, and I'm a fan.
Of course.
But before
he's a fan,
this
he's a fan.
Before this beef, everybody talk about Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick. You could argue J. Cole was at the top. You could argue that, Jay. Don't give me that look.
Nah.
You can argue that, big fella.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Ahead of Kendrick? Yes. Because J. Cole was putting out hits. He was active.
He's
and
more
I
active.
thought this sort of pushed Kendrick back up at the top.
Yeah, it was his time. It's his time to shine, baby. That album was coming out.
He was on the sidelines, chilling, and said, all right, I gotta come for my spot.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is to take on the top dog. He went at J. Cole, remember? And
Cole backed out of there.
Yeah, and Cole backed out. Drake was ready for the smoke.
Yep.
He took some body blows. I don't know. That's just me. We got some calls on this, big fella.
Yeah, Skip got something.
Skip. All right, let's get to Skip on line one. Skip, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's happening?
What's up, fellas? First off, De'Aaron Fox, both things can be true. Number one, he can want that money, and rightfully so. And number two, I'm sure he ain't trying to run it back. So he do want to see roster construction. But to why I called, Mr. Draper, I was upset at you when I first started. And then I sat here on hold and heard the last statement you said. Now I'm just sad for you.
What?
You just said J. Cole was at the top. You out your mind, dog. Come on, man. You're equating putting out a bunch of stuff with being great.
No.
J. Cole is cool, but come on, man.
What's the last Kendrick great album?
Hold on. Let me talk about Kendrick and Drake. and Jay, my man, you already hit on some of these. Look, this is how I see it. Kendrick is Will Smith. Drake is Carlton. Kendrick is that bomb pop. Kendrick is that bomb pop you wait for on that hot Saturday when that ice cream truck rolled by. Drake is some watered down, cooling ice cream in the refrigerator, dog. Come on now. Drake don't even write his own stuff, man. Look, I'm disappointed in you, Mr. Draper. And I'm calling you Mr. Draper like I would if I was in trouble and my parents or the teacher said, Mr. Bishop, get over here. Come on, dog.
Skip, I'm just saying. I'm giving all due respect to Kendrick. Y'all not listening to me. Kendrick's great. He's fantastic. You want to make him your GOAT? Go for it. I'm saying Kendrick was on the sidelines watching Drake and J. Cole put out hit after hit and said, I got to get back in the game. What's the quickest way to get back in the game? Taking shots at Drake. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Drake's a better rapper than Kendrick or anything like that. I'm just saying when it comes to this, Kendrick used Drake to get back on top. That's all I'm saying.
And I disagree with that, but real talk though, and Jay, you said it. Really, it comes down to each his own. I'm more of what's going on in the streets as opposed to the pop culture. Anybody can be a pop star. That's not really me. I'm not saying that I don't like some of Drake's stuff. I do, but that's just not my cup of tea. And last before I go, shout out to my man Whitey. So I knew Whitey back in the day. He can hook me up a couple of times. I kind of wish he was there so I could say hello to him. Y'all fellas have a good day.
All right, appreciate you calling in, Skip. I'll always take the calls. 916-339-1140. He called me Mr. Draper like I was in trouble or something like that. KD. Hey, let's go to EJ on line 3, Jay. EJ, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's happening, man?
Drapes, just a little bit happy belated once again since you've been back, man. Hope you're feeling fresh. Jay, keeping it cool today, man. Hey, I wanted to call in and weigh in on this. I've got a couple of things here because I know you were commenting on it, Drapes, just a few weeks ago, how you think Drake won it. Drake's catalog can't be compared with. You really can't. The stacks of hits all the way back from his Young Money days, you can't ignore how hard he's been for a long time.
Pop culture rapper, EJ.
Come on.
He's a fantastic rapper. But here's the difference. K-Dot, he don't care about what's important to Drake. He'd rather be the people's champ. He's the Rakim, right? The one that we still herald, the one that gets shouted out on the stoops and will have respect wherever he goes, right? He's more like Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali's invited to all the award shows, well adored, but you do not want to mess with Joe Frazier, right? And one of the lyrics that I thought was just outstanding, where Drake could not come back, at least from this back and forth, was two. Everything he mentioned about raising his son, and when he said, just keep your hands waving and dancing and everything will be okay. He cracked him. He cracked him. You guys have a great rest
All
of the
right,
show.
man. Good call, EJ. Appreciate that. Here's the thing about this, Jay. And Drake, if I'm keeping it real, is taking it easy on Kendrick.
Oh, wait a minute. Because LeBron takes it easy on his fans. On his opponents.
Because this is why, Jay, hear me out. And this is something I really thought about. This ain't no Drape's take or just trying to get people upset. Drake. So Kendrick had his super friends out last week.
Some
with the pop out. Some of them.
Yes.
All Drake got to do is pick up the phone and call Lil Wayne. And it's dead.
No, he ain't crushing everybody. No, he ain't crushing everything, man. This dude is united. And you know the street politics of Los Angeles? This dude is united neighborhoods who dislike each other.
I'm not talking about streets, Jay. I'm talking about hits, lyrics, bars.
He brought on Roddy Ricch, YG,
That's not Lil
Ty
Wayne.
Dolla $ign.
That's not Lil
These
Wayne,
guys
bro.
are just as close. YG's just as close to Lil Wayne right now.
Lil Wayne put him on, though. Lil Wayne put Drake on.
But Drake,
all you gotta do is bring out Nicki Minaj from the female side.
But Drake, think about this. He brought out Drake. He brought out one of the forefathers of rap almost. That wasn't the only. Snoop jumped right on Social Network and was like, "Hey man, dude's the king. He's the king." So it's not like K-Dot couldn't. You know how this goes, man. If I'm trying to do an event. And I'm calling my super friends, as you like to call, we like to call them. And I'm like, hey man, Drapes, would love for you to be at this event. Come MC it, do it. It happens on this day. And you're sitting over in New York or you in Philly with the family.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, would love to. Just, feasibly, I can't do it. My kids got me over here. I'm with moms and dad and all this other stuff. I just couldn't get you for that day. It happens, right? K-Dot got just as many phone calls to put in that Drake could.
But Lil Wayne?
Dude,
Lil Wayne is one of them.
I get it.
He's one of them.
Dr. Dre is too.
We might have to agree to disagree.
I get it, but I'm just saying, when we go back to the LeBron conversation, if you're comparing Drake to LeBron, and Skip said it, there is a culture side and a pop culture side. Drake will never be touched pop culture.
Right.
He's too far ahead when it comes to, like I said, the TikTok, the Gen Zs, all these different, like he's too far ahead. And that's not K-Dot's lane anyway. And that's why EJ said, like, he's in the Rakim lane. Now, I can't think of, you would have to school me a little bit. I mean, I know the names, but I didn't know who was the Drake of the 80s. Who was I want to say Big Daddy Kane, but he's a little more authentic. Like Big Daddy Kane's got a lot of a lot of authenticity to
Big
himself.
Daddy. So you saying Drake ain't authentic?
No. He's not. Man.
But that dude's a hit maker.
He is. And that's why he's LeBron. I get it. Yeah. To eat in the NBA, one way or another, you have to be tied to LeBron.
Right.
Had to have played well against LeBron. Like people are making their names.
Against him. Yeah.
I mean, he's got a whole couple. Well, not he, but his friend who he created to form a Clutch Sports has a whole company who's got
is an entity now.
Yes.
And that's
Drake
how
is
I
an
feel.
entity.
That's how I feel about Drake in the rap game. It's like, sure, he made, all right, let's say I agree he lost the battle. In the whole scheme of Drake's life, it ain't going to matter. Because like you said, he's still going to sell out.
Yep.
He's still going to be on the radio.
Yep.
He's still going, and so he's Teflon, like somebody from the 916. Drake is Teflon. He's been scratched and is getting thrown out. He's been he's taking more. Pusha T killed him.
He did.
But it didn't matter.
Well, and I'm with you. That's why I said if we're comparing and keeping it on the floor, Drake is LeBron, but K-Dot is Steph Curry. He's his nemesis. He couldn't get by him enough. And that's in the Pantheon, we'll always remember LeBron for being better than Steph Curry. No, hands down.
Right.
Unless Steph Curry wins like 2 more championships or something, hands down, he's in the Pantheon, in the grand scheme of things, LeBron is going to be in front of Steph Curry. But in the arguments on these type of shows in the culture, people gonna be like, but he couldn't be Steph though.
Damn.
He got him once, which is what you're saying. Like Drake stuck him a little bit on certain things.
Right.
But in the Pantheon of all, in the battle one-on-one, K-Dot is tap dancing on Drake. But I get what you're saying. Pusha T is, he's Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
You got to go through LeBron one way or another. We're talking about De'Aaron Fox a bunch of times. You started this segment with De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
Look at that. He's tied to LeBron in other ways because he basically is he's signed to his boy's contract.
Yeah.
To his agency, which we all know when LeBron is done playing, guess what LeBron's going to do?
Yeah, he's going to be
jump straight to Clutch Sports.
Yeah.
He can't do it because it's against the rules. But as soon as it's done, Drake, you know what's happening. He's going to be the face of Clutch Sports. He gonna be the one that you're gonna fly out and meet when you get, when Nick Draper is signing in the NBA or he's signing a PGA deal and they trying to get a Clutch Sports guy. Guess who coming? You getting ready to meet LeBron.
LeBron to close it out, to close the deal.
That's the point with Drake. I get you.
All right, man, that was fun.
K-Dot Steph though, brother.
People coming at me, and I love it, man. I appreciate y'all. When we come back, we want to get back to the Sacramento Kings because some major news dropped today. We got the Sam Amick and Anthony Slater article. Also word that Bobby Portis might be on the trade block. If you're the Sacramento Kings, should you pick up that phone and bring Portis to Sac? I'm going to tell you exactly why. Yes, you should. More Drive Guys coming up next after this timeout.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. And 76, visit staples.com/print for details.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
18 number ones.
What was I thinking?
Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee,
I love you just the way
Dasha, Kelsey Hart and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
Right now, while you're sitting on the couch or just driving around, your friends are at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range powered by Top Tracer. The vibe is perfect, whether you're an accomplished player or a newbie. Play a variety of fun games, play Pebble Beach, or compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. Check the summer-long free concert schedule. Be a part of the fun at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, open until midnight.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton.
Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Drapes and Jay, Sactown Sports, 1140. You're listening to The Drive, guys. Kevin Gleason out today, but he will be back tomorrow. We'll be back in studio one day before the draft tomorrow. The draft on Wednesday, Kings with the 13th overall pick. And according to Sam Amick and Anthony Slater, the Kings are aggressively shopping their number 13 pick as part of the aggressive offseason. And I love the fact that Monty, they recognize the same things we recognize. Like, this isn't just a media fabrication or a fan fabrication. They understand just how big this offseason is for the Sacramento Kings. 916-339-1140. Hit us up on the text line as well. Let's get to our boy 10, Jay, on line 2. 10, what's up, man? You're on with Drapes and Jay.
Let's go. Special edition of Draper, the host. And just to weigh in on my music knowledge, I mean, Drake is the one, has the women throwing their bras at them, so he wins.
All right, 10. No comment, bro, but I know what you're talking about. There is an old adage, though, too. And you remember this, Jay. Thanks, 10.
Let's go, Sacramento.
If you run in a club, if you get the women to come, the men will follow.
Absolutely. Promoter's dream.
Right, promoter's dream, right? You get the women to show up, the men will be there. If you get the men to show up, good luck. Mm-hmm. Good luck. And so I see what 10 is saying right there. The big story today, obviously, the article that came out in The Athletic, but also Michael Scotto saying that Bobby Portis might be available if you're the Sacramento Kings. Are you picking up that phone, Jay?
Absolutely.
I mentioned earlier, dude, he's moved up to my top.
He's your guy now.
He's my guy. Like, Zach LaVine, I love Zach, but Bobby Portis is number one. Zach drops the number 2 right now.
Yeah. Portis is he's up there for me. You know, I haven't slotted him like you.
Okay.
But he'd probably make my top 3. He probably would. Like I said, I'm on record. I like Miles Bridges. I think for what you're going to have to pay him, you know, we heard Brett Siegel on our show a little earlier from Clutch Points. He said Miles is probably going to get 22 to 25. I think that's an absolute steal for what he's going to give you. That'd still be my number one. The second person that's kind of moving in my list, and we haven't talked about him that much today, and I know we'll get to him within the next couple of days. I'm highly interested in Paul George, man.
Really?
I really am. And I know he's not probably going to be around for 4 or 5 years at a high level.
Right.
But I'm looking to win 2-3 years. I think he could give me 3 years at a high level. And unlike what he's done at the Clippers, in most of the places he's went, the one thing I've always argued about Paul George is this. He goes into a situation, the Pacers, the Clippers, OKC. He goes into a situation kind of looking to be the second guy, the Pippen to people's Jordan.
Right.
And for whatever reason, as we saw here in Los Angeles, he has to be the number one because Kawhi been injured so much. And so he shoulders a lot of what's going on. Yeah. And so I think if he comes here, De'Aaron has shown he's sturdy enough. We knocking on wood. Domas, we know, is sturdy enough to where I don't think Paul's got to be the number one. I think he's coming into this situation to be the 2, sometimes a 1, sometimes a 3, and he's actually going to have help on a superstar level, on a star level, where I feel like he went to OKC and things didn't work out the way it was supposed to be. And they put more pressure on him. He went to Los Angeles, and the pressure seemed to be on him more. Like Paul, to me, is probably my second guy. And then I think that's where Portis is kind of bringing up the rear for me at number 3.
Really?
Yeah. I love Bobby Portis. I really do, man.
But you're super high on Bridges, though.
Yeah, I am, man. I think he does everything the Kings need. Everything. Like there's nothing he doesn't do that the Kings couldn't use. He plays good defense.
Yeah.
He's not a pushover. He's gonna give you 20. He's gonna shoot the ball well. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. He's not taking away from DeMontis, Malik, De'Aaron, and he's played on a terrible team for so long. I think if he comes here, we'll see, a lot of what he does can translate to a winning ball club. Honestly, it's just he coming with a flight full of baggage.
Right?
Like he
ain't just carry on.
Nah, man. He better be flying Southwest because he got a lot of baggage.
Nah, I hear you on Miles Bridges. And I wonder, would Sacramento embrace him? That's another question you got to throw out there. I just think with Portis, he seems to be a fan favorite, a guy that lays it all on the line, guys that play hard. It's interesting. You talk about Bridges, back-to-back 20-plus point seasons for him. 21 this last year, 20.2 a couple of years ago when he played. And seems to be pretty durable, too, to an extent. 2 years ago, played 80 games. This year, 69. I'll take that.
On a terrible team.
He
probably took a couple of nights off. But this is two things, and this is the Kuzma versus Miles Bridges thing, is this, Drapes. We know someone on a team, a bad team, has to be the leader. Has to have the stats, the scoring, the assists. I'll accept that argument from Kyle Kuzma. He plays on a bad team, right?
Right.
Miles Bridges plays on a bad team. But I think Miles Bridges has shown that he can translate to something else. Kyle Kuzma, for me, still has a question, and it's like, he's the best person on the bad team. I think Miles Bridges is not the best person on Charlotte. I think that would be LaMelo. Right. But I also think Miles' numbers have a little more honesty to him, a little more truthfulness than Kuzma.
Not just stat hunting or anything like that. Okay. All right. What do you make of, this Athletic article where, they brought up De'Aaron Fox as an extension? It talked about how, the roster may play a part in that. I think we both agree. I'm not buying that, really.
Nah.
I think the reason why he waits is money, and he can make $359. Like, I just can't. I can't wrap my mind and head around this kind of money. You look at what Tatum's about to be paid, $315, $320, something like that.
Man.
I mean, and De'Aaron Fox, a Sacramento King, could be in line for a $350 million payday. That's crazy, Jay.
Yeah, it is. It's the new CBA. It's the new, new cap space the league is creating. I find it funny that we, as the Sacramento Kings fans and the community, we've been asking for a superstar.
Right.
We've been looking for our guy to attach our name to, and De'Aaron is getting ready to be that guy. If you have to, now of course he has to make all league.
Right.
But you make a great point. I think we're getting ready to see the best version of De'Aaron Fox that we possibly can see. And if nothing else, of course, health has to play a big part in that, but it will turn into who knows?
Right.
And I say that as far as for the Kings. Like we saw what happened 2 years ago when he stepped his game up.
Right.
Kings third seed.
Third seed, third team All-NBA.
Man.
Mr. Clutch.
Yes.
And everything like that. Let me ask you this, though, because, we talked about Jaylen Brown signing his contract, and he went out there and kept working, and you see he's living up to that contract. It's about to kick in for him this year. Do you think De'Aaron Fox, once he gets the contract, sort of walks around with a different kind of aura? Because we talked about that superstar aura, and De'Aaron Fox isn't quite there yet. But once you get that money, when ESPN is talking about you, when First Take is talking about, does that put you in a different kind of class when you get that max deal like that?
Yeah, pressure for sure. For sure, Drapes. You know that. If you're the leading, well, let me take a step back. Around here, maybe not. Because we love our players.
Right.
But throughout the league, as you're talking about, the Tim Lagers, as I look up Ramona Shelburns of the circle, absolutely. They're going to be knocking on the door. You lead the league in salary because he would become the highest paid player in the league. We expect some things from you. Now we're not going to look at you as that upbeat, uptick Sacramento King, or he could be a guy that could be growing. Nah.
Those excuses are done.
That's done, man. Championship or nothing now for you.
Right.
You lead the league in salary. You have to take this team and start to get a little further in the playoffs now. And DeMontis is going to be talked about, whoever that third person may be, Keegan Murray, or if they go out and grab somebody, they're going to have some things they're going to have to, answer to. But $360 million, almost $360 million, Drapes, man, we got to have conversations about you a little bit just about every day.
And you don't want to get the reputation of a Brad Beal or even my boy Zach LaVine. You're looking at all that money for what? Ain't won a dang thing.
Yeah.
And so if you're De'Aaron Fox, you don't want to be that. It's interesting because I'm looking at the text line. I got a couple of texts here. 916. He's got to make his free throws before he gets $360 million. Then somebody from the 209. I would never accept the Kings paying Fox that much money. He definitely ain't worth it. 916. I know it might seem small, but you can't have your point guard who gets to the free throw line, presumably more than anyone on your team, shooting 60% from the line. First of all, Fox ain't shooting 60%. Where you get 60% from?
You got to stretch it.
People making things up. But I do wonder, would that be sort of polarizing here in Sac? Like, would a segment of the fan base be like, whoa, that's a lot of money for De'Aaron Fox? And would they demand, like you said, excellence? All right, you're that dude.
Yeah.
You got to lead us to the promise.
I think so. I think, again, the Kings fans are more forgiving than probably a lot of other cities in the NBA. But 360 puts you in the headlines. It puts you on the moniker. And not only in the city, it puts you on the moniker throughout the league. And so, you know how it is. We talked about Drake and K-Dot and people making their name on guys like that. Anthony Edwards is the type of person, he'll see you make almost $360 million, and he's coming at you.
Yes.
You make more than me? I'm going to make my name on it. It's almost the Caitlin Clark effect.
Yeah.
When the one thing you got to respect about Caitlin Clark is this. she's always going to get everybody's best
100%.
and then more because she's the golden goose.
Yep.
So just like you talked about Drake, everybody's banking their money off the golden goose. I'm not saying De'Aaron's going to be LeBron, but I'm also saying there's some youngsters who's starting to come up, who's looking at De'Aaron as someone, a goal to be like, someone, he's getting ready to play it. Like someone right now who's 16 years old is looking at De'Aaron Fox and sizing him up.
Yeah.
He's measuring him. Oh, I can't wait till I get to see De'Aaron. And then by then, De'Aaron is 30. Yeah. But you're making $300 and almost $60 million, right? Ooh. And so those are the things you have to start to think about when you're paying that type of money. And just know, if you sign De'Aaron for $360, even though it's 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost going to be a lifer here for the Kings.
Right.
So now we got to start to talk about, legacy, start to talk about what is he going to do when it comes to leading a team to playoffs. What is he doing for the league? He talked about not being on the All-Star team didn't mean nothing. $360 million, you got to be a part of the All-Star team.
You got to be. What's interesting, and I know I'm getting way too ahead of the game when it comes to this, De'Aaron Fox is 26. Let's say he signs the contract when he's 27. By the time he's 32, 33, he might be looking for one more massive contract, Jay.
Man.
Dang, right? I just can't.
And by then the cap is gonna be up again.
Might be like $400 million or something. It's crazy. All right, coming up in just a little bit, we'll put a bow on the show. Hit us up on the phone lines. A lot of great stuff today. You're listening to the Drive Guys here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Ah, the sweet feelings of summer. The kiss of warm sun on your skin. The softly scented breeze blowing through the trees. Don't worry, you have Off Clean Feel, fragrance-free mosquito repellent that feels good on skin, so even mosquitoes can't ruin those sweet feelings of summer. Off Clean Feel. Prevention is the best protection from mosquitoes.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever. The Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool has been put away. Now's the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Back here on The Drive Guys, Sactown Sports, 1140. Drapes and Jay here with you. Final segment. Dude, I'm kind of sad our boy Whitey's not here today. This would be our Whitey's way back trivia. And if I'm correct, I won last week.
You did, man.
I
snuck
got you.
one out, man. That's all right.
So
Bounced back from vacay and got me, man.
Do I get today also as just like,
sure.
mark today down?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No,
all
no
right.
problem.
I can write it today.
Yeah,
okay.
man.
I'm feeling good.
No doubt. I'll just put an asterisk by this one today.
It's funny. So I'm looking up some things that happened in sports history today, and you'll appreciate this one. Let me pull it up right here. Back in 1947, on this day, Jackie Robinson, his first stolen base.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow. First SB of his career in the MLB.
Yeah. Future Baseball Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson steal homes for first of 19 times. So maybe it's
wow.
First, as the Brooklyn Dodgers beat Pittsburgh 4-2. That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive right there.
Game changing.
Yeah.
Game changing, man. You know, it's Willie Mays celebration night out there at Oracle tonight.
Oh, is it tonight?
Yeah, they're doing some Willie Mays stuff out there for the Giants today. And know a couple of people going out that way. So should be a fun, entertaining celebration that goes on out there in San Francisco this evening, albeit we're celebrating someone losing their life.
Right.
Just to pay respects to who Willie Mays is and what he's done for, the game of baseball and just life.
Just
life.
Right? Yeah, much bigger than
absolutely
inside those diamonds, right?
Yeah, and normally I talk bad about the Giants, but they got this one right.
They got this one right.
They did.
You know that they're riding a 5-game losing streak?
Yeah,
I think
as they should. They're not good.
Hey, Farhan, man, he got to be on the hot seat. I don't know how that dude is keeping the job. Like, seriously.
That dude is on that Mercedes EQ. When you get in, you turn the seat warmers on, high blast. He on that.
In the summer at that, too. I got another on this day for you. How about this one? You'll appreciate this. 1979. Ricky Henderson debuts for Oakland and steals his first base. Yeah. 1979.
Now, that would have been a good question.
That would have been a good one, right?
79. Who stole their first base in 1979 for the Oakland A's? Because that could have won.
You would have got that one, right?
I would have won Ricky just based on stolen bases.
Base.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, that's good stuff. Let me see what else is out there. Shaq was drafted by the Orlando Magic.
I saw that earlier today.
Yeah. Shaq, 1992.
Someone I don't remember. I can't give him the credit for this, but someone posted, and of course, the NBA circles. He was drafted today. He measured He was 301 pounds with 10% body fat.
Dang.
Could you imagine?
Think about that. Big Shaq.
Come on, man.
10% body fat?
10% body fat, weighing 301 pounds, stretched up to 7'1". That's a big dog.
That's and an athletic one, too.
Yes.
Like fit. Like old Shaq pictures when he was at LSU and Orlando. Come on, man. He was running like a gazelle out there at his size. All right, that's the main ones. John Wall drafted.
Okay.
Yeah, John, and you see he's trying to get back in the league.
Yeah.
Also.
I saw, and he's kind of been one of those guys the last couple of years that has been healthy, then not. Then you kind of have a question about what's going on and is something bugging him. Unfortunately, John Wall Drapes, and you tell me he's going to go into the pantheon of like Brandon Roy.
Right.
Probably like who's someone else? The Penny
Hardaway, Grant Hill, like
5-6 outstanding years. Derrick Rose.
Yeah, Derrick Rose.
And Isaiah Thomas. You might be able to put in
boy
there.
IT.
Yeah. And man, I wish I could have seen him another 5 more at his highest peak.
5-time All-Star, All-NBA, All-Rookie. Looking at some of his
oh man, at one point in time, he was De'Aaron Fox before De'Aaron Fox. The fastest cat with the ball.
Fastest dude.
He had handle, tremendous handle, could go get it. He was a slasher. He never was much of a shooter, but he'd give you buckets.
Dang, check this out, Jay. His first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons, he missed 5 and 7, 12 games.
12 games in his first 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Dang.
First 7 seasons.
First 7.
Yep. He played 77 games, 78 games, and then 41, 32,
wow,
40, 30. Like, he didn't, his second season, but that was a lockout shortened season, third season. So, man, you're right, man. He's one of those what ifs. Like,
yeah.
And I loved him, man. Like him and
Baller.
Brad Beal, the way
super baller.
That super baller. So,
Brad, who of all those guys that I just named off the top of your head, who's the one that you like? I just you could have gave me just a little more. Like all those guys, I would have loved to see play more.
Yeah.
But who's the one for you?
Penny Hardaway.
Penny
Hardaway.
Yeah. Dude was amazing.
And the thing about Penny that might be different than some of these other guys, he was a star in commercials, Lil Penny and everything. He was
Tyra Banks, come on.
Tyra Banks. He was becoming the face of the league.
Yeah,
dude.
he was.
He was that dude.
He was.
Derrick Rose was balling out, John Wall, but Penny was crossing over, dude.
Yeah.
And into just, pop culture.
Yep.
Lil Penny?
Yeah. That for me is Penny.
Yeah.
I think if there was a secondary, it probably would be Grant Hill because same thing. He was the face of the league and he had a smooth game.
Yeah.
He was smooth about his. It looked, and follow me. It was like Penny was kind of rap, hip hop.
Yeah.
Grant Hill was classical, smooth jazz.
Yeah.
It's very, very smooth. And this game, triple double machine at that time when, triple doubles were hard to come by. Like, dude he was the truth, man. And I thought, I've never been a Duke fan. I never root for Duke, but going to Detroit for whatever reason, I felt like he had a little more oomph to him.
Right.
Like he had a little more dog in him, and that's
yeah.
hard saying because they say Grant Hill's one of the nicest people you could ever meet.
Right.
But he had a little attitude about him
Yeah.
when he went to Detroit.
Nah, you're right. And the thing about him, he would bang on you too.
Oh,
though.
quick.
He would dunk on you. Like, he might have went to Duke and, was a little refined and everything, but on that court, he would have banged on you. And so, no, you're right, man. That's one guy. John Wall, like we said, Penny Hardaway. If him and Shaq would have stayed together, we would have been talking about them like Magic and Kareem.
Oh, yeah.
And, players like that, So, all right, my man, we wrapping this thing up. Where we at on the time? I got about another minute or so. Thanks for everybody for listening. And Whitey should be back tomorrow. We got a deep dive into the draft.
Oh, yeah.
The number 13 overall pick. And based on what we're hearing, Jay, and seeing, guys are moving up and down, left and right. And so it might be some good talent there at number 13 come Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. And Styles and Watkins will be out at
Public House.
There you go. Coming out for the draft, so make sure you get out there and rock with them. But it's going to be interesting. We'll have Anthony Slater. He just told me he'll jump on Wednesday before the draft.
Okay.
So we'll be able to ask him about the De'Aaron Fox reports that him and Sam Amick came out today too. So that'll be super interesting.
Yeah, great stuff as always. Shout out to Brett Siegel for jumping on from Clutch Points. He was on earlier. You can always check us out on the YouTube channel at Sactown Sports 1140 or the app as well. Download it now. For Jay, I'm Drapes. We'll see you tomorrow on the Drive Guys here on Sactown Sports 1140.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. The July 4th holiday is right around the corner, and now's the perfect time to come celebrate with incredible lease offers from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Drive home your dream car right now for just $444 per month with just $4,000 down. Or you can enjoy 1.99%